Welcome to the Bobby Couto Show, where we dive into the fascinating world of human experiences and excellence. With special guests, real-life anecdotes, and thought-provoking discussions. Get ready to unlock and tap into your absolute potential with your host, Manifestation Coach, Bobby Couto.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome episode 100 of the Bobby Couto Show with my special guest, Republican candidate for State Senate, Manny Silva. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Bobby.
How are you? Oh, this is great, man. Such a pleasure to see you, dude. Amazing energy.
Thank you.
If I could just say one thing, I did the research, sir,
Yeah.
and pleasantly surprised, brother. Pleasantly surprised. So, it's very important to me to have guests that are dynamic and that really bring substance to the show, right? And my parents immigrated here from the Azores, so I am the actual product of what is possible in this country,
yes,
and I'm very proud of that. And I know you as well, sir. 6 years old, you immigrated here from Cape Verde.
Yes, sir.
And been here ever since. You lived in New Bedford, a little bit of time in Rhode Island, but a family, you have a wife, 3 children. Here you are.
Yes, sir.
I just got to ask you, what brings you to this point, sir? I think people want to know who you are. I think it's a very important point to bring up, and that is, I think when you leave things stagnant for a long time, in this case, Michael Rodrigues, 20 years in that position, very not challenged, really. Like in the research that I did, it's like he's just a one time. He's been there the whole time, and I wondered to myself a couple of questions. First I'd say thank you for stepping up.
Yes, sir.
And my next question is, why would it be that way? How is it? I know we just talked about voting in Fall River, right before the show started, and we talk about people not showing up. Yeah. And this is one of those perfect examples of how could somebody be in that position for 20 years, challenged only once, and then you look back and you say, what do we have to show for that? Looking at the state of the union, the way that we're getting through this situation, expenses as far as energy have never been higher. It's people are not accountable. We have audits that, were actually requested and voted on. Like 72% of Massachusetts residents voted for an audit in 2024.
That's
and
right.
Here it is 2026 and nothing's taken place.
Yeah.
And I only bring these things up right off the bat because, I want to hit the ground running with you. And I know that you have a lot to add to this. So with that said, sir, where do you see yourself 5 years from now, realizing where you want to be? But let's start from the beginning. Why are you here, sir? Why are you running?
Good question. And that decision was made to run in January, just about a year ago.
Okay.
After the November elections in 24, good results as far as Republicans are concerned, presidential election.
Yep.
Fall River even went Republican for the first time since Calvin Coolidge years. All the other towns, Republican, some as high as 57, 58%. Sure, everybody's happy, in a sense. Republicans are happy for those numbers.
Sure.
Then about maybe a week or so later, I'm starting to think, I'm not completely happy. Why is it that this man, Michael Rodrigues, who's been a powerful Ways and Means chairman, why did he once again get unchallenged? I believe there's a man named Russell Portentis challenged him in 2022. The man didn't even hardly do anything as far as I understand. Didn't knock on doors, didn't send out anything. He just put his name in, and he still won 3 towns, but essentially Rodrigues won overall by 60%, with 60%. But over his years as a senator and probably as a rep too, hardly get challenged. And I said, why? Why is no one challenging this man who, and I can expand on that a little more, who I feel is helping to damage the state greatly. It's not just Maura Healey's fault. He is the Ways and Means chairman. The budget goes through him.
He's the architect.
He's the architect, as they call it.
Yes.
And then I spent some time, probably 2 months, every once in a while saying, somebody's got to go after this guy. Somebody's got to take him down and retire him. Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. After a while, I said, wait a minute. Why you just keep saying somebody's got to do it? I've never backed down from a challenge. And I felt that at this stage in my life, I'm ready to challenge for something because I was seeing all the bad things that were happening, the high taxes, the the rising utility costs. We know the deal. We can talk about that a little later. All those individual items.
The immigrant housing, like we can get into that.
Oh my
Yes,
goodness, everything.
Yeah.
I said, why has no one challenged him? Because in my view, he's basically the yes man for Maura Healey. I think I took about a month before I told my family that I was even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Finally, when I made a decision, then that's when I sat down with the kids and my wife and said, look.
How old are your kids?
My daughter is 38 years old. Wait a minute. She's going to be 37. She's going to kill me for getting her.
No, that's all right. I do the same thing.
And my sons are 23 and 19.
Oh, so adults. These are
They're
all
adults.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're adults.
Yeah.
The younger is in college. And my wife, we sat down, and I said, guys, you think I'm crazy. I've done crazy things before in my life. I've made unexpected decisions in my life many times, and not through very light thinking, serious consideration every time. You won't believe what I'm going to tell you. And I talked about it. And we said, oh, really? And we talked and talked and talked. And bottom line is they support me. They came to the conclusion, Manny, if that's what you really want to do, Dad, if you really feel that you are led to do this, we're going to support you.
That's amazing.
So that was the decision. That was early January, something like that. That's where the decision was made.
Sure.
Took me maybe a few more months planning, thinking, talking about it with some people. Talked with some very, very valued friends who knew the political scene and things like that. And then I ended up, I believe, officially registering in April and had my official kickoff event in May. So I've been officially in
Barrett's,
the race.
right? It was Barrett's.
It was at Barrett's.
Yes. Okay.
We had a great time there.
Yep. One of my favorite places.
Yeah, great place, good food. And that was it. And ever since May, of course, I've been doing things that need to be done. This month seems to be, it's going to be the next level. It's the beginning of the second quarter of the Super Bowl.
Right.
If you want to use sports analogies. Sure. Now we're going to go to the next level. We're going to plan things to do that we haven't been doing. I think I've been doing the right things for 9 months, getting to know a lot of people in the Republican Party, speaking to every person I could possibly speak to. I mean, I've gotten up in a restaurant when we're about to leave. Like I remember that day we went to Sagres for my wife's birthday. We're having a lovely dinner. There's a couple sitting next to us. And they helped take a picture of us, of the group. And later, 5 minutes before we leave, I said, Monica, you know what I'm going to do, right? Oh, no, you're not. Yes, I am.
Why not?
And I stood up. We're like sort of, I stood up. I said, guys, thank you very much for taking a picture. Where you guys from? Bottom line is, a quick story is that I ended up chatting with them. The husband was independent. The wife was a diehard dyed-in-the-wool Republican.
Oh.
We had a great chat for 10 minutes while I'm standing there ready to leave.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. I talk to whoever I can. I say hi to somebody, and if they seem willing to say hi and chat, I'll do it. And I'll tell them, by the way, I'm running for state senator, and I usually ask them, how do you feel about Fall River? How is your situation with your family?
Sure.
Do you guys think you're getting ahead or falling behind? And that's my habit that I'm going to do for the next 9 months. Just talk to people, find out first how they're doing, and then introduce myself. Say, look, I care about you. I care that you're struggling. I don't care what party you're in, too. And so that's where I'm at with that, talking with people for the next 9 months as well as holding events and getting to know people that way. So that's what brought me here.
Sure.
I had this burning passion to yet start another stage in my life, which at 70 years old, a lot of people say, I'm done with it, man. I want to just chill out, relax, and have some fun, fix the garden up once in a while, go to the beach, hang out. But I'm healthy in mind, body, and soul, thank God. And I felt that drive, and I talked about it. I prayed about it. I believe in God. I'm a Christian, and I believe praying to God for guidance in your mind and soul. And I had that conviction. I thought about it for a while. I said, nope, I can't get it out of my head. Can't get it out of my mind. And I've got to do it. Somebody's got to take him on. He's a powerful man. but I said, I'm going to do my best I can.
Sure.
And
Sure.
That's how it came up.
You're a paraeducator.
Yes, sir.
You're a pastor.
Yes.
Those are positions of passion. When I see that in someone doing both of those, I say those positions of passion.
Yes.
So my question leads me to this. Where does that passion come from? 6 years old, you come here, you're a little boy, immigrated here from Cape Verde, probably speaking Portuguese,
Yes.
right? Your parents, your grandparents. Tell me a little bit about that. What was that like?
My parents, as well as my wife's parents, actually, were both born from Cape Verde. Came here as we were six. 6 other siblings, and then the oldest sibling came about a year later
Okay.
with her husband. But 6 siblings came with me in 61. Parents were godly people. My father was a minister in Cape Verde. So the upbringing there was obviously, he was very conservative and strict, but a loving, gentle man. Mom was great. Both my parents were awesome, wonderful, godly people. That background, of course, upbringing was something that a child never forgets. You know, there's a thing in the Bible that says, a verse in the Bible, bring up a child in the way they should go, and they'll never forget it. You know, in other words, raise them properly.
Absolutely.
They may stray a little bit,
Yes.
but they'll usually come back to the right way.
Yeah, Manny, I say we breed copies.
Yes,
We breed copies,
absolutely.
right? That
Absolutely.
they learn from us.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. So we landed on the shore. Well, I can't even remember if we landed on the shores on a boat. I think we came on a big ship.
Do you remember Cape Verde at all? I mean, 6 years old. Did you remember any of it?
Only through the stories they tell me. Like they tell me little stories. Oh, you did this when you were a kid. Oh, you did this stupid thing when you were a kid.
Yeah.
I remember very little, very little. And I did speak Creole for a while until I still can speak it a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, came when we was 6. I remember in New Bedford, elementary school, thrown into class, not knowing a lick of English. And I had to learn English just listening in class. They didn't have tutors.
Me too.
Yeah.
Same thing. Yes.
And still remember that about a year later, I won the spelling bee
Oh, wow.
in elementary school.
No kidding.
So you were thrown in there.
Yeah.
You had to sink or swim.
Absolutely.
And I did it, and I learned, and I kept learning. Went to Keith's Junior High School, graduated from, well, I went to New Bedford High School, but the year before I graduated, my dad moved to East Providence, so I graduated from East Providence High School.
Oh, okay.
Even though I went to the prom that year with my old friends.
Sure.
So that's where I went to New Bedford, went to East Providence, went to Barrington College, some other schools, graduated from Barrington College in 1980. 1981, I went straight to graduate school.
And then you end up in Chicago.
Illinois.
Illinois.
Yes, Illinois. In the town of Bloomington Normal.
Okay.
The twin town of Bloomington Normal.
Yeah.
And I got my master's degree. Also had
Good for you.
believe it or not, physical education. I was married at the time. I've been divorced. I was married at the time to my wife. We went back to the East, and silly me, I dived into the doctoral program for sports psychology in Storrs, Connecticut at UConn.
Oh, okay.
I spent 1 semester there, and I got burned totally out. And I said, why did I do this? And here's the funny thing. I've had a varied career. After I left, I spent 2 years in FM radio. I was a DJ at WNOU FM.
Okay.
New 98 FM.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it still exists yet. So I spent some time there. Eventually went back to Rhode Island. Got a job as a phys ed teacher briefly at a school for autistic kids. Some of the most difficult but beautiful kids to work with in the country.
I would say it must have been a challenge.
It was a challenge. I learned a lot. It was great to see kids improving. What a blessing that was. I spent quite a few years there, about 11 years, and then moved on to, by the time I left there, I was actually working in IT. It was kind of an unusual thing how I progressed in my life. While I was there in the early days of the old Macintosh SEs, which some people out there will remember,
Yep.
I asked the IT director, I'd like to learn how to keep track of all my music collection. Because again, another part of my life was I was a radio DJ.
Yeah.
But I did weddings. and
Okay.
things. I wanted to keep track of all my music.
Sure.
So he taught me how to use an old Apple IIe.
So funny.
Some people like, whoa, I remember
Yeah,
that.
I remember it.
Yeah.
I do.
And I learned it. I learned the Mac. I remember the time when he brought me in one day and said, Manny, check out this new Apple. You won't believe this. It's got 16 megabytes of hard drive space.
The good old days. The good old
And
days.
I said, you're kidding me. You're lying. 16 megs of drive and 1 megabyte of RAM. Wow, that's incredible. Bottom line is, I learned so much about the computers. To his credit, when he needed an assistant in the IT department, he hired me over his brother-in-law who was working there. His brother-in-law wanted the job.
Oh, wow.
I said, I'm not going to get the job. But he knew my interest. He knew my skills at it, just having fun with it. That alone kicked off what was a 33-year career in IT.
Wow.
Just because I liked computers to keep track of my music and I enjoyed learning it.
Right.
And I've
And
had
you're at the ground level of Apple.
Ground level of Apple.
You see the progression of the Apple product all the way through.
everything. And
Yeah.
I learned the software that I used to develop databases. And that's one more funny thing, though.
Yeah.
I remember when the internet was just mostly for the military. And I still remember to this day that year when when I started working with him, I said, this internet thing it's just a fad. This ain't going to work. This is not going to be very popular with people.
Yeah.
And of course,
Right.
much better than that.
Right.
But yeah, that's where my career changed. From the goal to be maybe a sports director, director of a recreation and programs in a town, something like that.
Yep.
Maybe teaching in a college. All of a sudden, I'm in IT, which I hated to do when I was in grad school. Another little story. I was in a statistics course when they used the old punch cards.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I remember still to this day in the class one day I said, I hate this. I hate it. I hate it. I'm never going to get involved with computers. This is terrible. I'll never get into it. And here I am 33 years in
33
IT
years later, right?
until I retired.
Go figure.
So that's where I led my IT.
Yeah.
And I've always been in nonprofits. All my career was nonprofits. The only for-profit I ever worked was when I washed dishes in my first job at Howard Johnson's in East Providence. Other than that, my whole adult working career, nonprofits all the way.
Wow.
Never changed, never wanted to work with profits because, I don't know, I just never felt like it. I know you can get more money. I could have doubled my salary, but it was just an enjoyable thing. I took my IT career and I continued helping the clinicians that worked with the autistic kids.
Yeah.
I created databases that kept track of everything, that helped develop their programs, their reports and everything, all through 3 years, 3 different agencies.
Wow.
One after another. I was the IT manager, and I had a great, successful career.
All because of love and music.
Because of love of music, I
Right.
became an IT man for
Wow.
and I loved it. I enjoyed helping. I enjoyed the creativity of creating things to help kids get better,
Right.
to help the clinicians work faster and better. And, it's just been an enjoyable career. So
Sure.
in the year of COVID, that's when I basically retired. And then I think the following January, that's when I officially started collecting Social Security
Oh, okay.
in 2020.
So you're no longer a paraeducator like that.
But a paraeducator, I am.
Okay.
Later on that year, I started substituting at Case High School and other schools.
You just don't stop.
Oh, Scott, yeah.
Right.
By the way, I just got back home and I hurried to get dressed. I didn't even take a shower. I did a middle school basketball game.
Of course.
And I've been an umpire for many years, too. So I umpire softball. That was one of my dreams, to be a Major League Baseball umpire.
Really?
That died after I got married. Well, no, that died sort of before I got married. You want to be a Major League umpire, you better be either single and young, or your wife will tolerate you going
Right. That's a travel job.
travel job.
Yeah, you're never home.
until you
right?
get to
Right.
at least AAA or something.
Right.
So that was another.
How far did you go with that? Like what league? What?
I went as high as doing college ball. I did URI.
That's legit.
Yeah, it's legit.
That's legit.
Then when I went to Illinois State for a year, I did some semi-pro. I did women's semi-pro fast pitch softball. Those balls came in like they were lightning. That was an incredible experience. So my love of sports is great, very good. In Rhode Island, I was very active in table tennis. a very competitive table tennis player playing tournaments, nationally rated tournaments. So I've delved into sports and everything, and I've jumped into just about everything. Probably have only told you half the things I've done.
Right.
I don't know. I've just had an interest in many things.
But that's all led you here. Like, and that's what the show's about. It really is the journey, Manny.
Yes,
it's about really realizing, the struggle to the success, right?
Yes.
Because, I always say the struggle is what pushes us forward, right? When we're hungry, we look for food, right?
Exactly.
And that's what propels us forward. I've had this absolute pleasure of sitting down with people like you and tapping into that journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and I always have a soft spot, and I always say to myself, I always appreciate the people that do it who don't have to,
Exactly.
right? Because, many of us who might just, are born here and have an opportunity presented to them right away, and they take it for granted. They don't realize the struggle. And for me, seeing my mom come here as an immigrant and work 2 jobs her whole life. I was 13, got my first job because I wanted to support her.
Correct.
And seeing all that's driven me to this point, Manny. You know what I mean? Like, I've had a career, and I hit 50, and I've been doing the podcast for about 12 years now. But like, I only got serious with this when I realized, what? This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Everything else that I've done up to this point has led me here. Which brings me to to your point, and that is, here you are with a full life, full career, and you could easily just go enjoy the rest of your life, but you're choosing to make a difference, and I think people like yourself, more so now than ever before, we are in dire need. We need good people to stand up and fight for us. Because frankly, I think the system, excuse me for saying so, I think the system has become so corrupted that, I use the example like this. So we live in an apartment building, you and I. You're in apartment 1B, I'm in 6A, right? And we walk through this door every day. We use the same door. And this day we come in and there's this dog shit right outside. Somebody walked their dog over there and a dog shit. And you and I walk in, hey, Manny, how you doing? Bobby, how you doing? And we walk in and I go, look at that, somebody dog shit right there, right? And we walk in the building. Tomorrow comes. I say, hey, Manny, how's it going? Oh, look, dog shit's still there. The third time I see you, we're not even looking at the dog shit anymore. It's still there,
Right.
but we walk right by it. Because it becomes normal.
That's a good analogy.
And that's I think that's where we're at right now. I think the citizens, and this is the country. I think Massachusetts is a good example, but I think the country itself, I think we've been sleeping. I think we've sat back and we allowed the pilots to fly the plane, and they don't have our best interest in mind. And, Republican, Democrat. I'm an independent, and I like to sit here and I say obviously I lean. I'm a conservative. Like I believe in everybody working for themselves, and I think that you should have pride in what you do. And not to say that people don't need help and support. I'm all about that.
Right.
But you should carry your own weight. But with that said, getting to this point now and looking around and looking at the national situation, right? Obviously Trump was a good thing. I think for politics in general, realizing that a Republican needed to be in place. I think to offset having the House, having all of that is important. My point, here we are, a situation in Massachusetts where we have 40 senators, 40. And of those 40, I'm gonna read it because I want to make sure I don't speak out of terms here, right? But I'm gonna read this, and the truth is, here it is. So we have 34 Democrats, 5 Republicans, 0 independents, and 1 vacancy in Lowell. So my question to you, Manny, is how do you get anything done? Like how do you fight this? Where is it mean Manny gets in and then Manny's like, hey, we need more Republicans. We need more of us in here. Like you could be the example. You could lead the way to say, look, if we are complacent, this is what happens. Never should there be this much of an offset in anything, let alone with the people that are making the decisions for our state. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that leads us to where we are right now. Healy, denying the pipelines, right? And then, so now you don't get the fuel. Now the rates go up, and then the denial, and then it gets one thing after another. And then people just, the $5 million for immigrant legal costs. Like I say to myself, we have citizens that can't afford to get their medications.
That's right.
My mom's 81 years old.
Yeah.
She's like you. Like she's living because of what she worked, what she put in.
That's right.
But yet she struggles. And I say to myself, Should it be this way? Should our senior citizens even be paying taxes? Should our veterans even be paying taxes? But instead, you get a 20% tax increase, right? There's no end in sight. And I know that this is all things that you're aware of.
Yes, sir.
But as a citizen, I see this and I say to myself, is there a way out? Or have the Democrats lock this in a point where nobody can get in anymore, right? If you're not popular, they're not going to let you in because the citizens aren't showing up, Manny.
Right.
So how do we get them to show up? How do we get people to care? How do we tell people, listen, I'm willing to sacrifice my retirement
Yep.
to do this for you, but yet you won't even show up to vote,
Exactly. That's a big problem.
right?
The option of giving up is not an option. People look at it 34-4.
Yep.
What are you going to do, Mr. Silva, when you get there? Okay, it's going to be now, 33-5.
Mm-hmm.
That score is not going to change anything,
Right.
usually. The option is to give up or keep fighting.
Keep fighting.
If I win as senator, I want to see that we're going to keep fighting to increase that number gap. It's not going to happen overnight. It's you're delusional if you think next November the Republicans are going to be even close to a 50-50 split. Such incumbencies there and all that. But you can never give up. That's not
Right.
an option.
Right.
And I could have said to myself, this is a waste of time. Why should I go up there for waste 2 years, bang my head against the wall? They're all knocking me down for every amendment I give or whatever bill I present. They don't even want to hear it. They're laughing at us. Why should I deal with it? Because you can't give up. And that's the bottom line. That's why I said, should I not do this or do this? Don't let the numbers gap influence your decision.
Sure.
Because then you're telling everybody in the neighborhood, everybody in Fall River and all the other 6 towns.
Yeah, lay down and
our
die,
hands
right?
back.
Just lay down and die.
So you just
Yeah,
can't give up.
right,
Maybe 10
right.
years from now.
Yeah.
Maybe 8 years. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe there'll be a big wave in the next 2 elections.
Sure.
We're going to have almost a balance that you can at least fight them a little better.
Right.
But you can't give up.
Right. And I don't want to sound doom and gloom, and that's not my point, but like you look at this guy,
At
you
this
look
point, it's doom and gloom.
you look at Mike,
Yeah.
and like they got him set up. They've literally set this guy up.
Yes.
He's doing the budgets. Like, so to me, he's doing the budgets. I mean, who's he doing the budgets for, right? Is it for the constituents, right? Because, when I say this, it's Fall River, Freetown, Lakeville, Rochester, Somerset, Swansea, and Westport.
Yes, sir.
Like, how do you get Freetown to buy in, right? What? And I only say this just an educational conversation.
Yes.
What does Freetown produce? Like, what is their gross domestic product? Like, what are they doing in Freetown? It's a great place to live.
Yeah.
But how do we get them to be players, right? How do you convince these people to be like, hey, vote for me because I want to bring commerce to you guys. Let's up your town. Let's make this a viable town. Let's bring some businesses here. Let's bring some. How do you get to those people?
Well, I've researched all those towns, and certainly Fall River. I'm trying to think of some specifics. I got to go back to my
Sure.
paper research.
Sure.
But I've looked at each town. They each have a particular issue here and there, problem that I want to focus on when I get elected. So they have their specific needs, and then there's the crossover needs for all towns, of course.
Sure. Yeah, the big numbers. But I
big
think like Westport, right? Westport, they care about farming,
Yes.
right? That's their product,
big
right?
farming
So like somebody like yourself, you'd have to deal with Fall River, which is a city, right? A city that doesn't have any farming, and then you've got the rural, like you got the Lakevilles, the Freetowns, and then you got a Westport, which is farming. So this is very dynamic. There's a lot of variance here. You know what I mean?
It is, and I wonder, and I keep wondering how the dynamic. Mr. Rodrick has been in there. He's the powerful man, Ways and Means. I'm sure he gets probably whatever he wants. He always advertises delivering for the district. My argument is he's delivering some things, and I'm not making light of the things he gives them, but in the big picture, they're crumbs.
Right.
I call it crumbs.
Right.
Compared to the big picture, what he could do. He most recently, actually, a few weeks ago, said, he said he agreed with the Ways and Means chair of the House. He agreed with the Ways and Means chair of the House that cutting the next year's proposal for 5 to 4% state income tax, which is going to be on the referendum, he called it irresponsible.
And
Time
he
again.
did it arrogantly too. I saw that.
You saw that.
I saw that.
I just read
and he
the
was
text,
very,
but
ha ha ha. He was very arrogant about it. Yeah,
Irresponsible.
and it bothered me when he said that.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
I could go down the list of things.
sure.
And of course, his rejection of the audit, many things. What can I do if I take over for Michael Rodriguez? What are they going to let me have for my community?
Right.
And second of all, I don't care if it's you give me money. If you give me money for my community, I'd like to know how you're getting that money from.
Sure.
I don't want to give money that's been like wasted from some kind of wasted proposals. Yes, I'd love to give every community money for their specific needs. But I also want to tell the legislators, I'm not here to vote on a budget that is bloated just because you're going to give me $500,000 for whatever, Westport or whatever location. My promise is, which one of the things I posted today was, you will not get me to vote for any tax increase. That may seem unrealistic to some people, maybe even Republicans, but I will not vote for any tax increases. I will propose and vote for a tax cut which the people badly deserve.
Absolutely.
Especially the middle and lower income people that are struggling in Fall River and any other town in the district.
A lot of these businesses too. A lot of these
And
businesses are
businesses.
struggling, right?
Struggling.
Yeah, they're struggling.
Yeah. And landlords, everybody's struggling.
Yeah.
Unfunded mandates, those things that, it's like a different kind of tax. Okay, you got to do this, but we're not going to give you money to fund. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Thanks. You're putting more pressure on our community. Now we have to raise local taxes or do something or charge for more money for garbage bags, whatever.
Yeah.
They keep repeating the same solution over again. Their solution for problems, to solve them, that they created themselves, is to find a new tax to solve those problems.
Absolutely.
Including the latest.
Congestion tax. And
The latest.
that's insane. That's insane.
I don't know where they're getting these things from, but it's just crazy.
I happen to be in Milford today. I work for a medical company, and I
Yes.
happen to be at a hospital in Milford today. And I was doing some work, and I'm just minding my business. And this individual just out of the blue says, "You do a lot of driving?" I said, "Well, as a matter of fact, I drive about 6,000 miles a month." And she goes, "What are you going to do about the congestion tax?" And this is like, she didn't ask me my political affiliation.
Yeah.
This was her asking me
Yes.
like, what do you do about that? And I actually said to her, I said, I couldn't afford to do my job.
Yep.
If they're going to charge me to drive, like, what do you do with somebody who drives 6,000 miles a month? Like, it's unrealistic to think for 1 second that you're going to charge me for driving. Manny, just
Yes, sir.
get a little conspiracy with me right now.
Yes, sir.
What is the push with electricity? Because to me, the only thing that makes sense about pushing everybody into electricity is that you can control it. You can shut it off. And if you shut it off, nobody can do anything. Like, why not allow people to use the fuels, the oils, the fossil fuels? I understand that we want to save the planet, but I think everything used responsibly, I think you can have success. To implement these crazy ideas. So now we're all talking about the congestion tax. Meanwhile, right, they're given $3 billion in immigrant housing for illegal immigrants in the state. So we're all complaining about the drive tax.
Yep.
Meanwhile, they're over here doing all this. And I think this is the pattern, right? It's, we're going to do this, and then no, don't look over here, right? Because even Michelle Wu, same thing. Like, it's a constant. I'm in Boston often. I've been in Boston for the last 15 years, like working in and out of Boston. I have never seen it as congested as it is now. You know why? Because I can't drive down the bus lane. It's 2 lanes, and you have a bus lane to the right and the traffic lane in the middle. Like, Boston wasn't already congested enough. You make it impossible to travel in your city.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I've seen pictures.
So why would I go to Boston? Like, why would I go there to do business?
Right.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
And it almost seems like the model that they've built there, they're trying to spread it out everywhere. Like, this level of control. Like, you can't get in your vehicle. Manny, you can't get in your car and drive where you want to drive when you want to drive there.
Yep.
To me, I don't know.
It's total insanity, but the electricity thing, I've seen people's bills. They post it all over the internet, Facebook and everything, $500, but the electricity only was $20 and all these fees and everything, which is primarily the responsibility of the state.
100%.
It's their doing. It's not energy costs or anything. And then the debacle of the totally miserably failed wind power. It's total, absolute nonsense to me. Whales dying and all sorts of things breaking down out there. No more fish in certain areas. It's terrible. I'm not the expert on it, but I know enough.
Well, I went down to the beach in New Bedford, and you hear, boo, boo, boo. I'm like,
Really?
what? I'm like, what is that? And it was the pile drivers. They're putting all those wind turbines in, and way out in the distance, you could kind of see the equipment. And I was happened to be watching the news, and they show this pile driver, and it's so massive, and it's piling driving these piles into the earth, into the ocean, and it echoes for miles and miles and miles.
I'm glad I'm
Like,
not living there.
what is that doing to the wildlife, right? Like, save the whales, right? And you to me, it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. Their priority is no longer the whales. It's this foolishness while she's bragging about, cutting gas lines and things like that, being proud of that and denying it at the same time.
Yep.
And which reminds me, the people have to pay attention.
Yes.
They have to pay attention to this stuff. All these problems are happening around them, and a lot of them are not, in a sense, I'm not blaming them in a sense. They have to wake up. It's not that they're stupid. I mean, they're busy enough trying to take care of their families.
You're right.
And all that kind of stuff.
You're 100% right.
They're working hard every day.
But they're not paying attention.
But they're not.
Yep.
And they're too tired to pay attention sometimes.
Yes.
But it's going to get so bad at some point, some people will slowly pay attention and say, wait a minute, this can't be. This can't go on.
Yeah.
It can't be sustained.
And I think it's happening with schools. I think right now, parents, so a great example. I think a lot of parents, like my mom, trusted the school system. When my mom dropped me off at school, in her mind, I was in the safest possible place that I could be, around people that cared about me and cared about my well-being. Right? Years pass. I have a 28-year-old daughter and a 23-year-old son. My daughter made out all right. I think she just made it through. My son, on the other hand, was in the middle of all of it. You know what I mean? He went through COVID. He graduated in 2000, so it was the parade in the cars. Like, he didn't even have a legitimate graduation. But with that said, I think the poison began, right? The gender idealisms, and you shouldn't do this, and you should feel this way, and you can be anything you want, and you can be a kitty cat, and you can be, and all of this happened. And I think it happened because parents still believed that their children were going to a safe place where the educators had their best interest in mind.
Yes.
But that's not the case. I think we ended up with educators. I'm not speaking for all educators, but a majority of educators that, I always say this, and forgive me for saying it, but liberals hire liberals. Manny, if you and I, conservatives, and we get along, and you're going to hire me, right? Because we are like-minded.
Right.
So you end up in this perpetual situation where liberals are hiring liberals, and you might have a mild liberal here, but if you hired 4 liberals, you end up with the extreme liberal on this side, right? And it's the flags. It's the ideas that you could be anything you want to be. The truth is, if you go to other countries, they're not going to put up with that. Right? So if you live here in the United States of America and you want to be a part of this system and you want to contribute to the system, then you can't live that way. It just doesn't work. You're creating people that are not contributing, right? So, back to my long end here. In the high schools, and I think a lot of parents now are realizing, hey, wait a minute. What are they teaching my kids? Right? I go to parent-teacher conference, right? And they're like, oh, your kid does really good. And you go home. And that's the one and only time you see this educator.
That's right.
But then all of a sudden, you're sitting at the your kitchen table and you're having a conversation with your kid, and your kid says something that completely outlandish and outrageous.
They did what?
And you're like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you realize, hey, wait a minute. My kids have been poisoned by these ideas, right? So to my point, as a rep, right, you come into this situation and you try to understand your audience. But how do you negotiate with people that have such a thick liberal idealism that there's no getting to them? Like, how do we convince these? Because it's a whole generation of them. What I call the COVID generation, the kids that were taught behind the computers. Yeah. Look, let's keep in mind, COVID was, 2018, 2019, 2019, right? So here we are, 2026. These are adults now. These kids that were COVID, they're now adults. Right. They're in the workforce. What do we do here? Or they're playing video games, right? Right? How many of these people are actually successful? So to the original point, if we continue to be complacent, just like the government, and we allow these people to just run on their own, without any checks and balances, this is the result. I always say, is it bad enough? Because until it gets bad enough, nobody does anything.
Which is a shame because, let the camel nose into the tent type of thing.
Yes.
Don't let it even get inroads in there.
Right.
Going back to the 60s, 70s, when I was in high school, and maybe early 80s, mostly the 70s, 60s, and 70s, kids could go out on their own, down the street, walk around even at night, not one worry for them, not a bit.
Nope.
In fact, I was watching some nostalgia videos that popped up on my Facebook last week. I don't know why it started coming. And I sent it to the kids and my wife, and I said, this is how I grew up, guys. Showing the telephone, the old style, all those things.
Yeah.
And part of the nostalgia things was, back when those days when the kids walked out in the dark together and they'd play, and you'd be at home at 8 o'clock at night and wouldn't even worry about them.
Yes.
Totally changed now.
Right.
Because now I think part of the thing that has changed, there's too many people who have an agenda to not let your kids alone and let your parents raise them. They want to indoctrinate them because they think your parents don't know any better.
Well, we saw that in COVID, right?
Correct.
Like you have no right to your kids, right? Like
You
they
have no
literally
right
try to take your parental rights away.
Yes, sir. And that's, I think, the big difference. Somehow it creeps up over the last decade or so, whatever, that people start bringing this indoctrination, this and this. Parents sometimes are not aware. Sometimes it's not their fault.
Right.
They were told one thing, and they were taught something else.
Absolutely. Single mom, right? Working 2 jobs.
Yeah,
She can't do it all, right?
They smile at you. He's doing great.
Yep.
And then later she finds out, oh, no, he's not doing so great. So that's a big problem. Unfortunately, some of it is legislated. I believe Massachusetts, the law in Massachusetts is if you believe as a boy that you're a girl, you cannot be stopped from going to the girls' restroom. It's a law. It's a state law. I don't care if you're conservative or liberal principle, because there are liberal principles who don't like this nonsense.
Right.
You can't do anything about it.
Right.
If you complain, if the girls complain, he'll tell, I can't do anything. It's the state law.
Right.
And yet you're allowing girls their dignity to be insulted, perhaps be in danger, and never mind the sports aspect of it where some of them have been injured. Not only that, losing their scholarships, potential scholarships. It's a big joke. It's all the indoctrination that they've been creeping up slowly, a little at a time.
See, I call those landmines, right? And what I like to call landmines in those situations where, they do this because they know they can push it through.
Correct.
And then meanwhile, it creates the situation. And again, we're worried about men going into the ladies' room. What are we not looking at? What are we not paying attention to? Yes. Right? And again, this goes back, and I've had a couple of people on the show, and we've had this discussion, and it's the mental health problem, right? Just because somebody says they're the opposite gender doesn't mean like they're in the right state of mind. And I'm not saying all people. Is not. I'm not painting this with a broad brush. Right. But I'm saying is there's no line there. There's no line to realize. Well, is this person in the right state of mind? Are they making the best decisions? Because if an 8-foot man with a beard and a dress tries to walk into a ladies' room, and I try to stop him from doing that, at the end of the day, I'm the one going to jail.
Well, yeah, because you shouldn't be allowed to even ask that question.
Right. So you see, so there's the landmine. So no matter what I do, I'm just minding my business here, and the next thing you know, and I think that's the setup. I think that's the way it's designed to keep us occupied. And I'm not a conspiracy guy. I am not. But more recently, with all the stuff going on in Minnesota with the Somalians, and you realize that, they're talking billions of dollars. And not just billions of dollars. This is billions of taxpayer dollars that are being sent to Somalia, to Africa, to these organizations that don't have our best interests in mind, right? And then even in Boston recently, 2 Haitians running the EBT scam, $7 million.
Yes, sorry about that.
Manny, I'm a smart guy. And I'm not saying that because I consider myself a smart guy, an intelligent guy.
Right.
Do you know I've never even thought of that? Like, I'm saying to myself, how did I not figure that out? Like, I'm not a crook, but just even the idea to be like, hey, you know what? Hey, Manny, if you did this, this, and this,
Yeah.
do you know you could make $7 million?
Yeah.
So my question is this. These are Haitian immigrants. Who told them that? Because they didn't figure out on their own.
Correct.
Right? So where do you get that kind of information? I know a lot of people. I know politicians, and never once has one of them gone, hey, Bobby, listen, I got this idea. I know the rules. I know the rules. And we can do this, and we can do this.
Yeah.
Never, ever, ever. So I say to myself, who told them how to do that?
I don't know, but a lot of it, like Tim Walz, of course, in Minnesota. This guy is responsible for all the budget and all the money.
Not according to him.
Not according to him, but he is.
Yep.
How, and of course, many of us is thinking the same thing. How does someone allow this? What is the rationale behind it? And I just can't figure it out. And we may never figure it out, except that they just want to overlook things because they want to flood us with illegals. For what purpose, though?
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And allow them not only to flood illegally our communities,
Yes.
but to take advantage of taxpayer money
Sure.
from citizens.
Yep.
Honestly, I just don't know how to explain some of that.
Sure. And then if you look at what happened in Minnesota, it was the tampons in the boys'
rooms.
like everything. It was all these crazy things coming out of Minnesota. So all of the citizens are all like, "Hey, what's going on here? Why is it tampons?" Meanwhile, the Somalians are running rampant, and all these fake daycare centers, these medical centers. They like, oh, there's 32 medical offices here, and there's nobody there.
Nobody there.
There's literally nobody there. But again, I say to them, just like the Haitians, who told them how to do this?
That's right.
Because they didn't figure it out on their own, right?
Yep.
And there's enough Somalians here that are participating that nobody says anything. Like, they're all making so much money that everybody's like, don't say a word. You would think there'd be at least one Somalian to be like, hey, this isn't good. Like, we're stealing from everybody. Like, this is, but not one single one. Not one single one. Because you always say to myself, these conspiracies happen. I'm like, well, how is that possible? There's 10,000 people that work for the FBI. How could that possibly be?
Yeah.
But the truth is, it can be. And I think we actually convince ourselves that it can't. Like, oh, there's no possible way that could happen. And I say, Mike, and to the point, if that's happening in Minnesota and Michigan, like, where else is that happening?
I don't know, but it's going to be hard to find the paper trail right on paper.
Yes.
I authorize you to do this and this and that. It's just smoke and mirrors, and they're trying to. But I think they'll be caught in the end. But it's going to be hard work.
But even caught, what's the accountability? Like, when's the last time you've seen anybody be held accountable, right?
That's the other thing. They're
Right.
caught, and all of a sudden, a year later, they're still walking around.
Right? Like nothing ever happened. Dr. Fauci. Oh, Dr. Fauci. Like,
Dr.
you know,
Fauci.
again, no on Trump, but Trump was like, we're going to get him. We're going to get him.
Right.
But nobody's got anybody. Like, and Dr. Fauci's living his life. He's like,
so frustrating.
right? And, and everything just kind of moves along. And, Biden writes all of these pardons for everybody, and, Hunter and all that happened, but there was never any repercussions for it. Like, you realize.
And nothing yet.
Nothing. And frankly, Manny, I don't know that there will be. And and the reason I bring this up is because, when I have the opportunity to sit across from people like you that want to make a difference, I say to myself, look, I have hope and faith that you're going to be the change.
Yeah.
Like what you said earlier really resonated with me, in that you can't give up, right?
You can't give up. And then here's the deal with me. Whoever's listening to this, who's on the fence or even unconvinced. I don't care if you're a Republican or Democrat. I'm sick and tired of some Republicans nationwide who have dropped the ball. And I can tell you there's a few great Democrats so far that I've met in this community that it wouldn't surprise you if I put them on, as part of my team when I get elected.
Oh, wow.
I have met, I won't mention that person just yet, a highly principled Democrat. I didn't know he was a Democrat for 2 months.
Oh, wow.
We got together. We spent some time together. We talked. We collaborated on some things, community things. We're trying to help some people. At the right time, I'll mention his name someday soon, because it was over 2 months before I got to know he's actually a registered Democrat.
Oh, wow.
And I told him, You know why I didn't ask you? Because when we got together for lunch, all we talked about was issues and the concerns we have for the community. And I said, I couldn't care less asking you at lunch,
Right.
by the way, what party you are. We kept this on, talking. Didn't know until a lot later. And my point is that I am willing to work with common sense Democrats who care about the people in Fall River and the other 6 towns. I'm willing to work with them because I've seen some bad Republicans.
Oh.
So, to anyone listening out there, I am not a robot who's following the Republican path all the way straight down the line. I will call out Republicans who fail the people, and a lot of them have. Even some Republicans, I'm sorry to say, whoever's listening out there in the Republican Party, some Republicans right up in the State House. And that's what I promised. I think I posted that today. One of my promises was I will not compromise to any Democrat or Republican who tries to go against my conservative principles, which will help a Democrat family or a Republican family.
Sure.
We all bleed the same way.
Absolutely.
I've said that the same way.
There's Bobby Kennedys out there. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir.
Like, so
We need some more of those guys.
absolutely.
Bobby.
Who really genuinely
Yes, sir.
want the best for the citizen. You know what I mean? And I think that's such a noble path to take.
Yes.
But
Has
you
to
know,
be.
again, Manny, you realize like people that are in, and again, I don't like talking hate about anybody.
Yes, sir.
But I just think 20 years unchecked. You know, I think there's just influence there. You know what I mean? I think, you know, again, you know, not to say that that's everybody,
Yeah.
but you know, when you look at the when you look at the end product, I mean, most people would be like, I think most people are willing to look over the little things if the big things are taken care of, right? But when nothing is working for anyone, you know, when nothing is literally nothing, if they put as much effort into that train as they do like the homeless people, like I think we would have solutions.
Yes.
But the homeless people is an economic engine. People make millions and millions of dollars on the homeless population.
Yeah.
You know, and those are the hard those are the hard lessons that I've had to learn because, you know, growing up, you're always like, oh, I want to help the homeless people. Like I want to do what I can to help them. But then you realize, hey, wait a minute, when you start to get involved, and you know, I had Nikki Fontaine on my show, and she's the homeless director for the city of Fall River. And the conversations with her are like, look, there's an industry out there. You know, there are businesses that will literally drive around in a van and pick up these people and bring them to charge insurance companies and then let them out again and then bring them back in again. And it's this perpetual churn of taking advantage of people.
Right.
It's you know, the Stepping Stone building. She's calling from Florida because there's no beds open and she's making $300,000 in taxpayer money. It's like, but you're calling from Florida in the middle of February.
Right.
Like, where are you? Like, this is your Super Bowl, right? You're supposed to provide, you know, some temporary housing for our homeless community, and you're down in Florida. Like, to me, these are the things that I say to myself, like, are you really helping, right? Like, you're an entity, but are you just, right, the facade?
Right.
You know, and
that's the problem.
and that's our politicians.
That's a problem throughout any of these agencies. And
Yes.
It's a lot of $300,000. That's a pretty good salary.
Right.
But
Right.
what are we getting from all that? You know.
Absolutely. And there's nothing back on that. Look, so you're paying this $300,000 and you're providing beds, yes, for the homeless, but there's no output. You know, it's just consumption, right? So you say to yourself, if that's the case, well, what else are you doing for us? You know what I mean? Like, is it like there aren't enough beds, but you have a whole other floor that you're not opening, but you didn't do it because you're not here? Like, if you were here where you belong, then you would know that you need to open up more beds, but you're not here. And then people are calling you, like the Fall River Reporter is going over there going, snap, hey, there's a whole room empty here, and it's literally 2 degrees outside.
Yeah.
You know, and again, I think that's what's happened. It's become a money train, right? There's so much money, and these people in power are controlling all that money.
And that perpetuates the cynicism.
100%. 100%.
And people get dejected again about yet another thing. And you notice it on the comments on
Yes.
Facebook pages. You know, they're sick and tired. They get so mad, they start cussing and swearing.
Mm-hmm.
And they start saying things like they're all the same, which doesn't help me or anybody else who
Right.
really cares for the people.
Right. Exactly.
They're all the same. They're the same. There's no difference. No,
Right.
there is a difference.
Right. There is a difference.
There's a difference.
But I think, you know, and again, I said it earlier, is it bad enough yet? And when I say that, and the answer is yes. And that's why we need people like you to stand up and be like, all right, listen, this same old has to change. Right? Because, I think the legislative branch of the government is probably the least popular, right? You know what I mean? I think people don't, because it's law. You have to know the law. You're literally writing laws. That's what you're doing. And so, like, a lot of people just don't. I don't think they pay attention to it, but not realizing that's the most important part.
Yes.
Like, these people are making the decisions of whether or not you could drive your freaking vehicle.
Once they pass that bill, you can't do a thing about it.
Absolutely. Manny, would I love to be a Republican? The answer is yes. My heart would love to be a Republican, but I just don't see it. And there are a few people that I've met that I'm like, yeah, I believe in you. Yeah, I believe in you. But they just can't make it. Like, the wall is just too thick for them to break through. Yeah. And so I'm hoping, us sitting down here and, and people listening to what you have to say, that they become receptive to that and realizing that we could have change. There could be a better way. Yeah. Like, we don't have to accept the garbage that they're feeding us constantly. Right. You know what I mean? And look, accountability, man. We need accountability. If you do wrong, you need to pay the consequences. You are not special in any way, shape, and form. That goes for everybody. And I think as soon as people don't see that, they lose interest. Oh, well, there's nothing we can do. Forget it. And that's where the giving up comes from.
And it's a big struggle to bring them back to a level of caring and getting involved. And that's a problem.
Yeah.
All I can do as an individual is one person at a time.
Absolutely.
And I'm out here, and I'm going to be out there for 9 months.
Yep.
Convincing people, even Democrats, come on my side.
Yeah.
Because I care about you. You're a Democrat. I still care about you.
Right.
You love your family. You want to take care of your family.
Yes.
When they increase taxes, guess what? It affects you as a Democrat too. It doesn't go around them and protect them.
Right.
So that's what I want to get. That's one of the big messages is that I want to get a coalition. Democrats, Republicans, unenrolled, to so many unenrolled people.
Yep.
They've given up. They don't even want to be identified with a party.
Yep.
But I don't care what party you are. Just come and tell me what your problems are, how I can help you with it, your problems, your neighbor's problems, how you're suffering, what causes the suffering. And we know the answers to many of those questions anyway. High taxation, unfunded mandates, rules and regulations that just tie down businesses, tie their hands. And I see go up and down Pleasant Street. I see all these shuttered buildings.
Yes.
And it's disgusting.
Yeah, the Flint has lost its way. Like, there's nothing left in the Flint.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
And who wants to come in and try to revive it?
Right.
It's a big gamble for them.
Right.
And then they come in, and 6 months later they close down.
Yes. Yes.
It's a big problem. We've got big problems in Fall River. It's not going to be fixed overnight. But if the people give up, forget about it.
Right.
Then it's never going to be fixed. Maybe your next generation kids, when they become adults, if you stick into it in the game hard enough and you don't give up, maybe at least your kids, when they become 20 years old, they have a better future than you got 10 years before that.
Sure.
But you can't give up. Otherwise, it's going to get worse for them.
But I do see that. Like, I guess we were talking about it a little earlier, and that is, I can see the shift starting to happen, right? So
there is a little shift.
Yes, you could start to see the awareness, becoming more and more aware, going, hey, really? Because, nobody cares until it affects them,
That's
right?
right.
You know what I mean? So,
Absolutely.
you can, people, you get your paycheck, right? And all of a sudden your paycheck's short $20. You're like, hey, my paycheck's short $20. You know what I mean? Like, people are now starting to pay attention where before $20, it's just $20. Nobody cares. No, you have to care.
You have to care.
This is your hard-earned money. These are the things that we need to know. When you're paying over 30% in, your payroll tax, right? Like, to me, at some point you say to yourself, well, if I'm paying for this, what am I getting for it?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Because you can't drive. Manny, you can't drive anywhere. It's potholes all over the place. Yeah. And people are like, oh, potholes. Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't like potholes. But you know what? If you really want to talk like potholes, let's talk about the damage, right? So what does it cost? So the city of Fall River, the streets are terrible. Fire trucks, ambulances, police cars. We have an EMS in the city. They're driving throughout the city every day, all day, every day, hitting all these potholes. How many tires? How many rims? How many shocks? The damage. Like, I know it's people are like, oh, it's just no. That's not low-hanging fruit. That's a lot of money. Yep. That's a lot of money that we're actually paying out more than we should if we just fix the streets. And the other thing is, if I'm paying excise tax, where's the money? Who's in charge of that? Like, and why are my streets and why is my city, why is my infrastructure so bad? You know, you go back to Rome. Rome's success was the aqueducts,
Yeah.
right? Because no one else had it. So they built infrastructure. What did that do? Built the greatest empire that ever existed, right? So here we are in the 21st century, and we can't figure out that infrastructure is the most important thing.
Right.
You drive to Pleasant Street,
Of course.
to Flint Village
Yeah.
Plaza. Nobody wants to go over there. It's scary. It's literally scary.
Never mind the effect on the average person who's trying to make ends meet. They hit a pothole. They get a flat tire. If I'm rich, no big deal. That's a big deal to them. That's a big
Right.
expense.
Yes.
Time. I'm going to work. I may lose my job because now I got
Yep.
a flat tire can kill someone's budget
100%.
just like that.
Absolutely.
So all that is important, and you got to care about that. You made a point about caring about it. Even if you're comfortable, you just need to keep caring.
Sure.
We have had solar at our house for probably 20 years. Somehow it's working out great. We used to pay $400 a month during the summer for the swimming pool.
Okay.
We're grateful to have the house with the swimming pool. It's just a standard swimming pool.
Yeah.
But now with solar, we're paying $110 a month for years. And sometimes we don't pay anything for a few months because some people are not happy for some reason. What they got is not working well.
Right.
And then, of course, we got the electricity thing. If you're paying electricity bills, forget it. So we're grateful that we got the solar years ago and it's working fine. We never see any bills beyond 110, 120. I can't imagine someone making $30,000 a year with one income earner getting an $800 bill.
Right.
It kills them.
Absolutely.
Never mind the increase in rent
Sure.
and everything else.
How about the senior citizen who can't turn the air conditioner on?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're in their apartment. They got it's
They
either
can't afford it.
medication
Yes.
or turn the air conditioner on.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. And if they don't turn it on, they're still going to get a big bill. I really, and that's what bothered me so much. We are blessed. We're fortunate. My wife and I both work, well, she's the primary full-timer now. A paraprofessional doesn't make much, but I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
I get a part-time job payment as a pastor. We're doing pretty good compared to others. We're not rich.
No.
I have to watch that budget. I got my spreadsheet going out 10 years from now.
Sure.
But I said, man, it's not just about us. It's not just about me. It's about the people I end up talking to sometimes at Harry's breakfast place on Pleasant Street, and I chat with them. And it just kills me to see the suffering in this town and other towns, while she spends $4 billion on people who aren't even citizens. It just doesn't make sense. While the homeless are not being helped, the elderly paying those high taxes. Yes, they should have no taxes after a certain age, maybe 65, at least maybe after 70.
You've worked your whole life.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Why not? Throw a bone.
Those veterans,
Yes.
though, there should not be a veteran on the street who wants to get help. Not one. Sure, there's
I
one
love
or
that you
two
said
that are
that.
stubborn and don't want anything.
Yeah.
And maybe they need some mental help.
Yep.
But that's all you can do is try to help them. There should not be one veteran, and they should be honored for the rest of their lives with, I'd say, 10 times more than what they give.
I appreciate you saying that.
My brother, he's a veteran of the Air Force. My neighbor across the street, he was in Vietnam. He flew those helicopters, the rescue helicopters.
Okay.
He's in a nursing home now.
Wow.
He's a hero. In fact, I'll mention him. His name is Walter Wisniewski. He wrote a book called, Medevac. Great book. My point being that these people should be taken care of completely. Not half measures, completely. They deserve the full honors
Absolutely.
that they should have. They should have knife. Everything should be taken care of.
Of
them.
course. And the VA, like revamp the VA.
Revamp the VA totally.
Yes. Yes.
So those are the things that I care about. Blame it on my parents. They taught me how to care for people. They raised me right. And I'm sure a lot of us are raised right. You were raised right.
Thank you.
To care about people. I know that. I can tell. I mean, I don't read people's minds, but I can tell people who love their families and who care about the community. And obviously what you do, you care about the community. So, and it's just painful to me to see people suffering in Fall River and other towns like this. And these people up in Beacon Hill, 100,000, 150,000 a year, I'm almost embarrassed to think that I'm going to get close to that. And whoever's listening out there, it's not the money. It's not the money for me, because I value my time with my family.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping that next year I'll have my first grandchild.
Oh, congratulations.
And that might that might even affect whether I would continue as a senator after the first term.
Yeah.
Because you got to think about your family,
Sure,
your
of
life.
Of course.
After 70 years old.
Yep.
And I just, but for now, this is what I'm called to do: to run to be a senator, to help the people in Fall River, whether they're any kind of party or not. That's not what matters. They're human beings who are trying to live the American dream, raise their families right, and make ends meet so they can have some modicum of
Just a chance.
satisfaction and a
just
chance.
give me a chance.
Give
Just-
me an opportunity.
Yeah, give me a chance. You know what I mean? If the rules are stacked against me, I don't have a chance. Just give me a chance. You know, I go back to the capital gains conversation.
Yeah.
Like, capital gains is such a shame. You know, I think we'd have a bazillion millionaires out there if you just didn't take so much from people and give them an opportunity to invest. Right? Let me invest in property. Let me, because you were in real estate, right? You did some real estate, right? No,
No.
Never did real estate.
Maybe I should.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know.
Maybe,
It's
right.
another endeavor.
Right. I mean, it's like everybody's done real estate.
Yes.
But I say to myself, like, why not give people an opportunity? Give them a chance, right? You keep taking and taking and taking.
The death tax, everything is a tax. We're going to take and the tax, on the excise tax. Everything, every solution, these people up in Beacon Hill, for the most part, some, not all, most, not all, they're taking advantage of us, and they're laughing their way to the bank with their high salaries. In fact, I did the math, and I said, wow, you know, it's not, you're not a millionaire when you become a senator or a rep. And I'm not trying to impress anyone, but my dad gave me that example. Don't be extravagant. Give away what you can give away to help others. And I swear to you, Bobby, I'm going to take some of that income and give it away.
I love to hear that.
I'm not trying to win votes with that. That's just my mentality.
Yep.
I would feel guilty because, I mean, when I retired from IT, my highest salary was, my last year, I was getting $73,000 a year. Okay, not bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's a nonprofit.
It's a nonprofit.
Yeah,
I worked 40 years to get to that point.
Yeah,
I would have got right now I could start a for-profit for $100,000 a year as an IT person. So I had to work like 33 years to get to that point when I retired. And my point being, I'd be happy with the equivalent of that, maybe a little bit more. Sure, take care of my kids, to pay off school bills.
Yeah.
But frankly, I think, man, it's obscene. Because I think only a few years ago was $70,000 base salary. Now their base salary is $82,000 a year.
They can vote, so they can.
Probably next year, 2 years from now, it'll be $100,000. I don't know.
Sure.
This is wrong too.
Right.
This is wrong. While the people,
I wish I could give myself a raise.
yeah, I wish too.
You know what I mean?
Every 2 years, I'd
Right?
love to give
Well, why
myself
not?
a raise.
Why not?
So that's wrong too. I think it's ridiculous.
So I'd like to talk about
Yes.
your campaign in a second, but I just
Sure,
want to
sure.
bring something up real quick, and I want to get your opinion on it. So the carbon vote is coming up, right? That was supposed to come up, the carbon vote. I think that would be in November, right? For the carbon, like the fuel tax, like the carbon fuel tax.
Yes, sir. Oh, that's another one. Yeah.
Yeah. So Maura Healey actually changed the date, and she changed the date so after the elections.
No. Yeah. That's right.
I found that very suspicious.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have to find this suspicious too. I don't
Right.
know why, but I find it very suspicious.
Right.
Don't they have any confidence in their plans?
There it is right there. Don't you believe in what
Don't
you're
you
doing?
believe?
So if you believed in that, like
Yeah.
that should get you votes.
Yeah. If
right?
you want to help the people now, help them now.
No, but instead,
But instead, we're going to postpone helping the people until after the elections for some reason.
and those are the things that I see, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? That is just shady. There is no other way around
other
it.
way.
Call a spade a spade.
Yep.
That is shady.
Yeah.
And you're doing it for that reason. We can see why you're doing that. And her nonchalant very like that arrogant personality. It makes me crazy.
Yeah.
It makes me crazy. You know, the fact that she, you know, her ex-girlfriend is now the like all of these things, like she's hired. Like to me, I say like this is like thuggery. This is like the mafia. She's doing whatever she wants to do with no repercussions whatsoever. And the truth is, like everybody's behind her, going, "Hey, we got you back. It's okay. You can do whatever you want, and it's okay. Just let us do what we want to do, right? Let us give ourselves raises, right." To me, that is the dysfunction, Manny, that I'm hoping that you can dismantle, because nobody's questioning. There's no checks and balances, right? And if there isn't enough power to push it forward.
At the very least, I'm going to yell at the top of my lungs on Beacon Hill day one. Stop this nonsense, and let's help the people, not yourself.
Yeah.
Because to me, I see too much helping themselves. And I can't keep up. I take notes every week. I can't keep up with the latest foolishness that they come up with.
Yeah.
And he's got enough, Mr. Rodricks, that I can run on. The question is, will he continue?
Right.
I mean, I didn't think he would even make a comment about this 5 to 4% cut. Usually, he a lot of times he stays silent. But he said it's irresponsible. Why are you handing me all these campaign themes on a silver platter?
Right.
Because I can tell you, a Democrat or a Republican in Fall River won't like that, to hear that cutting their taxes by 1%. He'll probably say, "Oh, that's not much." Well, you tell that to the people struggling with minimum wage,
Absolutely.
trying to pay their bills.
With nothing to show for
I'll
it.
take something for it.
Yeah.
I'll take 1%.
Right.
Maybe next year you cut it another 1%.
Absolutely.
And how about this? Maybe next year you cut some more taxes here and there and stop this wasteful spending. And maybe next year you'll take, instead of another $1 billion to help people who came here illegally. And I remind everyone out there, I'm a legal immigrant. We waited years to come in the right way. And I'm a Cape Verdean, but I'm a legal Cape Verdean. And if any illegal Cape Verdeans are thinking that I'm going to favor them when I get into office, no. I don't play favorites for anyone. I love Cape Verdeans. They're great people. But I know I've been criticized by a couple of Cape Verdeans, and that's why I'm bringing it up. And I would tell them, so you expect me to be against illegal immigration but give you favors because I'm Cape Verdean? No.
Right.
And I told them, you don't know how many Cape Verdeans support me for the very reason that I'm against illegal immigration. So I'm going to have a lot of Cape Verdeans.
Well, it would undermine what your parents did. Like say, what my parents did,
Yes,
which
sir.
was come here. You know, it was the Kennedy push, right? It was the immigration. It was part of that.
Right.
My mom came over as part of that push to work and build an amazing life.
Yes.
I mean, Manny, I am here, brother. We are on my show. And the reason we are is because she came here.
Yes, sir.
She did it the right way.
Right.
She got her citizenship. She's an American citizen. And I am her son, born, raised as an American Portuguese citizen.
Proud of it.
Super
And,
proud of it.
I have a wonderful background with my family, especially from Cape Verde.
So much culture.
It's culture.
Yes.
I went back in July
Oh, okay.
for the first time in 64 years.
Oh, wow.
My wife, first time in 54 years. She was born there too. We took the kids, all of them, the boys and my daughter, had a great time.
That's amazing.
Went to my island of Brava, which is a tough place to live because the boats only go there every 4 days.
Oh, okay.
You can't fly there. 3 weeks later or so, they had the big rains that destroyed a lot of houses in the island of Fogo and the island of, I believe, St. Vincent. Terrible tragedy. People lost their houses, mud flying into the homes, destroying.
I do remember that.
Yeah,
I do remember that. Yeah.
And now my island of Brava is suffering greatly. Lack of water, lack of supplies coming in properly.
The
It's a terrible
basic
shame.
needs, right? The basic needs, right?
And
right.
I know I've already got plans to help the Cape Verdeans here who are connected to their families back in Cape Verde.
Sure.
And I'll help anybody. If you're from Portugal, if you're from Kenya, whatever, and you're a citizen here, one of the plans I have, and I'll quickly tell you, is to help Cape Verdeans here be able to send money back to their home a lot easier. Cut the red tape, lower the fees. I mean, you send money to Cape Verde, they'll send money to Cape Verde. they take a chunk of it just to transfer money to Cape Verde, things like that.
Right.
So I'm gonna
Especially in this digital age where you just
it's terrible. Yeah.
you push a button, really.
So that's my goal, to help them as
Yeah.
well as any other. I don't care what ethnicity you are. I'm just making an example
Sure.
because I'm Cape Verdean.
Yep.
But I'm a proud citizen of this country who has a proud history of being a Cape Verdean. I'm sure you know the culture there. It's just beautiful.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The people are great.
food, the
friendly
culture, the
people.
music,
I
yes.
can't wait till I get back. I'm hoping I'm going in June again, so it's going to be great. But anyway, I'm going to do my best for the people. I don't care where you're from, who you are.
Right. But and again, I don't want to.
Yeah.
But it's something special.
Yeah, sure.
Right. And I know you know what.
Yes,
like
sir.
I feel it, and I know you feel it, and it's being proud. Like I am so proud to be an American, but to be from immigrants.
Absolutely.
Because that
Yes,
is
sir.
that's the rule. That's what this country was founded on,
Yes.
right? Like, come here, bring me your week, like,
Yes.
and you guys can build something here,
Yes.
right? My mom, she had no education. She had, I think, a 3rd grade education. So she came here, she became a seamstress, and my mom was never out of work.
So was my mother.
Right? There you go. Like, she did pockets, she did
Yes, sir.
overlock.
Yeah.
I remember going to visit her, and like
Yeah, yeah.
she was here, the city, like her whole life.
Right.
And she raised 2 boys, and we owned some property. Like, we do okay.
Yeah.
And she did that on her own. I say to
Yeah.
myself, Manny, I can't imagine leaving everything I know to go to another country
Exactly.
where there's no one or anything that I know and starting a whole new life.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't think people understand that. People, immigrant, but you don't realize you're leaving everything that is safe.
That's right.
Everything, the people that are safe, your closest family, and you're going somewhere new, not knowing anything,
That's right.
right? Like, what a huge leap of faith.
It's a challenge, yeah.
And the fact that she did that, my mom's a hero, and so are your parents. And the fact that she did that, and they did that, and they came here, and not only did they do that, but they were successful. My mom was a contributing member of society
They
from
had
the
the work
moment
ethic.
she put her foot on this
They have a
land.
great work ethic, yeah. That's the key.
And she never took
That's the
anything from anyone. No unemployment, nothing. She has always worked.
Yeah. When he came to East Providence, or maybe it was back in New Bedford, I know he was making, as a pastor, $30 a week. He went to work for Aerovox. Ever hear of them? That's gone now.
Yeah.
Aerovox used to be big in New Bedford. Big. They did electronics.
Yeah.
He worked for them while being a pastor full time. Worked for Aerovox. Then he self-taught himself how to make keys and locks, things like that. He was a genius in terms of that. He learned 5 languages. After he retired, he would travel to France, Spain, Germany, and speak to people. He loved doing that.
Oh.
They had the work ethic. I remember one day there was a flood in the basement of the church. Parents called us. We were the janitors. The pastor father was the janitor. My mom, the seamstress. We all went there, the kids, mopping up for 2 hours all the flooded water in the church because we didn't have a custodian. We didn't have anything. We worked hard. They taught us that great work ethic. And that's just one of many stories.
Yeah,
It's just the hard work ethic.
And never giving up.
Nowadays, I'm sorry to say, there's a lot of immigrants come here. Sadly, they come here to get on welfare.
True.
And
Absolutely.
that's what's
Yes.
changed over the decades.
Yes. Because it's available.
It's available. It's
It
there.
wasn't available for your parents. It wasn't available for my mom back then, right? Like,
we wanted to come here for the American dream, to make a better
Yes.
life.
Yes.
But work for it.
Yes.
Earn it.
Yes.
Now too many people come here, oh yeah, I'm going to get on that gravy train.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad because it makes people lazy.
Yep.
And they're trapped. They think they're getting good things.
Right.
What's good about being trapped on welfare or social services for 10, 15 years? How do you get ahead in life?
Right.
No, you got to work hard.
And what we mentioned earlier, what are you teaching your kids?
And what are you teaching your kids?
Right. Because it's generational.
Exactly.
Because you came here, you're on the system, and you're teaching your children that this is what you do.
That's
you
right.
know, I have a work ethic because I watched my mom bust her ass. I watched my mom get up at 4:00 in the morning every day and make lunches for us and still go to that was my driver. That was my example. If I didn't have that,
That's right. All we're looking for is a honesty in people's lives. Another part of my life, there's a young man in Liberia, and then there's also a really good friend in Cape Verde. I'd love to bring them over here to the States. I'm not going to encourage them to sneak in here somehow.
Right.
Imagine the frustration, though. You've got great people out there
That are trying.
This young man is a wonderful young man. He lost his parents years ago when he was a young kid, when there was a battle between Liberia, the warring between Ghana and Liberia, a lot of civil wars. Lost his parents, so he's by himself. He's almost like a son to me. I want to bring that kid over here. He's 30 years old now.
Sure.
But it's almost, like, I would really call him my son. Here he is waiting. He might come to visit, but to get a permanent visa, it could take him years. And yet people are sneaking in and they think they're entitled to everything.
Right.
And then people get mad at us for saying, you don't belong here because you didn't come legally.
Right.
And they think we're cruel.
Absolutely. Right.
No, they're the cruel ones, I think. Or at least they're the indifferent ones.
Right.
Because here, I've got a young man in Liberia. I've got a great friend in Cape Verde. I can't bring him over here yet. But they're waiting patiently if they can ever come. And people need to understand that. I may be losing some votes tonight for that, but I'm going to stand by my principles.
Sure.
You want to come here, no matter where you're from in the world, you come here legally.
Absolutely.
And then you earn the right to make a living.
Absolutely.
And live the American dream.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I don't mean to like kind of
Yes,
budge
sir.
in and stuff. And that's all coming from an immigrant,
Right.
So
sir.
that should just speak some volumes,
I guess, as they say, what is that word? I got gravitas on that.
Yes. 100%. Yeah. I like that.
That word, I don't know who created that word,
Yep.
but
Yep.
yeah, I mean, I'm a legal immigrant.
Yeah.
Don't speak to me about being cruel.
Right.
I know somebody commented the other day, said, you're a disgrace to Cape Verdeans. And I said, I don't think so, my friend. I have many, many Cape Verdeans who agree with me and who believe in the right way to come to this country and live the great dream.
Right. Right.
Do it legally.
And it's funny, people say things like that, but what's the substance, right? Like,
What is the substance?
What's the substance?
Please
like,
explain.
Please explain. Like,
They never do.
Right. As a man of character, a man who's running for a Senate, you know what I mean? Like, and really not realizing.
Please expound on your reason why I'm disgraceful.
Right.
And they never do. They just like the
No, of course. It's the click. Yeah.
It's just, So, we're grateful. We're very grateful to have had this chance to live in the greatest nation in the world.
Amen to that, brother. Amen to that. Absolutely. So listen, just to kind of shift a little bit, I want to talk about your campaign a little bit.
Yes, sir.
I want people to understand what you're running on, right? What are your key points? I know, the Second Amendment is very important to you.
Yes, sir.
There's just some key points that I think the voters, that it would matter to the voters. Like the Second Amendment is very important to me. So the fact that you're a supporter of that, like, is very important to me.
Sir.
So what are some of the other key points that you're fighting for, that you're campaigning for?
On those moments where I thought about what's the most important thing, and I've got a list of 10, 15, 20. They're all important. But the biggest things right now, overall, in Fall River, Freetown, Lakeville, Rochester, Somerset, Swansea, and Westport, is the economy. It's the cost of living. It's the high utility bills. It's all those factors, the unfunded mandates, that are impacting the family's ability to live a semi-decent life, if not a decent life.
Yep.
There are many important things. Second Amendment is absolutely important, and I'll absolutely fight for that. I can walk and chew gum many ways when I become a senator, but we need people to have a sense of security, that they're not going to get bounced out of their apartments because the rent just went up another $500. The taxes, and it's not necessarily the landlord's fault. The landlords are getting hammered with higher taxes.
Yeah.
So sadly, some can get by without putting up much. Others, they have to raise the rent, and it's killing everybody.
Sure.
And the finances for people is the number one thing.
Sure.
If you can't get by to pay your bills, to keep your family under a roof, to get the kids 3 square meals a day, the Second Amendment, they're not thinking about that.
Right.
Or other issues,
Right.
which are extremely important too.
Sure.
So I'm going to fight real hard to lower taxes, to not have anybody raise any taxes anymore on people, to get rid of some of those stupid mandates that cause problems, that raise food prices and things like that.
Yep.
Everything like that. That's definitely my number one focus. That's the biggest impact, if I can do any impact there as a new senator, is to help people who are struggling in Fall River and the other towns to make ends meet. Number one. And then there's that whole list of other things.
Sure.
There's the social issues. I have big concerns about what Mr.
Gender
Rogers
ideology.
stands by. Absolutely. He promotes all that. He supports, and I think he was
Well,
named
those are the
as-
landmines. So
There are landmines.
Yeah.
He's okay. He's out in either through his comments or through supportive bills. He's okay with boys playing in girls' sports, therefore resulting in boys possibly hurting a girl, boys taking away girls' opportunities, boys becoming most valuable players 2 years in a row in lacrosse, Somerset, and also he's also for. He helped, I believe, promote the bill, but he's for it. Whether he promoted it, whether he signed off on it as a sponsor, he is for allowing boys who think they're girls to go into bathrooms. He's for it. Unless he does an about face, he is for it. And I think that is totally not only stupid, but it's more than that. It's immoral.
right. Right.
It's the lack of protecting girls' dignity in the bathrooms to the point where you're telling a young girl, deal with it. Deal with it. You're the one that's got a problem if you can't deal with that boy that thinks he's a girl coming in here. Something's wrong with this picture.
Sure.
And something's wrong with Michael Rodrigues and any other politician who allows that stuff, who promotes that stuff and is okay with it, and never mind. Oh, he is also in favor. I think he's a sponsor of another bill, and I'm trying to think of the exact title. It's a bill that basically, I forget the title exactly, but it supposedly will allow the regulation of school and library materials in schools and in public libraries for kids to put in place measures that will allow people to get the chance to challenge a book or this and that and remove it. It's a total scam by Mr. Rodrigues and the supporters of this bill. This bill will pave the way for allowing pornographic material. You see what's happening in Plymouth. I went down to Plymouth about a month or so ago, listening to what was going on there. They're promoting pornography to middle schoolers and kids, as young as, 10 years old at least.
Why would, not to take you off track, but
Yes,
why
go ahead.
why would they do that? Like, and I'm asking, like, why would they want that? Because the reasonable adult says no.
I'm still trying to answer that question, my friend. I'm still trying to answer that question. Why would they do that? They had the council meeting. I saw the video of that. And here's a parent, actually a husband and wife parents from Plymouth, testifying with pornographic examples. And I'm looking at other parents behind them, including some crazy activist that I found out she was a nutty activist, shaking their heads because these parents are talking about this graphic description of stuff.
Yep.
In other words, they were disagreeing that this is bad for the kids. These parents that were on that side of the thing, like they were mad, they were smirking. And I'm saying, and I, you just said, why?
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
And their excuse is generally we want to give kids the information they need in order to make the right choices. Why don't you just leave that to the parents and you teach them how to do their math so they don't fail, how to do their English and reading, writing.
How to write a check.
How to write a check.
Right? How to invest.
budget.
How to invest in the stock market.
How about
right?
those ideas?
Yes.
Instead of trying to take over for the parents and indoctrinating the kids with stuff that the parents don't want them to do.
Right.
And yet they think it's righteous for them to not only teach the kids, but also deceive them. You'll have a ruling that says, no, you got to have the kids opt out. And then you get things happening like those kids were taught it anyway. They ignored it. There's many of these school systems which will ignore a ruling until it's done multiple times. And they'll just ignore it, and they won't tell the parents, oh, this is coming up. Do you want your kid in it or not? They just teach the kid.
And it's so uncomfortable because I've seen a couple of those videos like the city council meetings, and then the parent gets up there and he's like, I'm going to read a book that I pulled out of the library.
Yes.
Right? And then he starts to read the book. And immediately you look, and everybody's uncomfortable. People will look like even the council. They're all looking down. Nobody's like straight because they realize how horrible that is. Right? You're literally poisoning these children.
Or if they're silly enough, they'll say, "Stop! We can't have that here." Oh really?
My favorite one was the guy that actually started undressing. He got up there and he
Yes.
started taking his clothes off.
Yes, sir.
And they're like, "What are you doing?"
What are you doing?
Well, I mean, if I can go into the ladies' locker room and take my clothes off, then what's the difference? Why can't I just take my clothes off here? What's the problem?
What's the problem?
What's the difference? Right? What's the difference? And they never have an answer.
They never.
They never have an answer. But what gets me is these are parties of what, maybe 8 to 10 people, and somehow they all agree. Somehow they all allow this to happen.
Right.
And I wonder, how far does the corruption go? Right? Because, Manny, I'll tell you this. If I know certain things about you, I can get you to do certain things. And I wonder if a lot of these situations is exactly that. It's when people have information
I wouldn't be surprised.
that is detrimental.
Yes, sir.
And, once you take that first one,
It's going to affect the bottom line.
you take that first one, brother, and then
done.
after that, you're done because,
gotcha.
hey, that's it. They got you.
I got you.
They got you.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Right? And so, again, and this is not me calling anybody out, but I think 20 years in a position as this, to me, given what I see, right? I'm basing on, okay, you've been here for 20 years, and this is what I see.
Yes.
This is the result of that. I say to myself, are these the actions of a man who has made all these decisions on his own, or are these influenced? Right? Is somebody telling him, hey, this needs to go? Hey, why are you the architect? Right?
Well, how about this? Maybe if we get the audit finally done, we can find out some answers.
Right?
That could that could shed the light on a lot of reasons why this was passed or this was proposed.
Yes.
Because you can see the paper trail. Oh, this went to this and that.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Now we can see.
Yep.
That's why they're fighting it. I truly believe there's complete corruption. And I'm saying this, there's corrupted Democrats and Republicans alike who have allowed this to happen.
Absolutely.
Not every
Yeah.
Republican
This is a
clean
joint.
up
Yeah,
there.
this is a joint venture.
This is a joint venture.
Quick question: Why do you think Jonathan Kraft, I know the prime. I say to myself, well, wow, like, is anybody that's going to beat Wu? Like, he's the guy. But somehow,
I don't know. He's got plenty of millions. He could have ran that race without breaking the bank.
but he got destroyed in the primary.
Yes.
So much so that he's like, I'm not even gonna.
Fine.
I'm gonna end this right now.
Yeah.
So to me, I said, well, that was very telling to me.
Yeah.
That someone like him with unlimited means.
Yes.
Right. The guy's got.
Oh, yeah.
What like? There's no
fundraising needed.
Yeah. There's no bottom to that fund. And somehow he couldn't, or not even go for the full run. He literally dropped out in the. Why would he do that?
Those are questions we never get an answer from.
Right. And so my question is, was there some information that he didn't want anybody to know?
Right.
Because if you're that passionate,
Yeah.
Yes. And you've got that many people standing behind you,
Yeah. He disappointed a lot of people.
me included.
Now, maybe he wouldn't have won, but he would have given her a fight. He would have had a different loudspeaker telling a different message, going against her and waking maybe some people up.
Exactly.
Perhaps for the next election.
Yes.
Don't give up like that.
Look, chop the tree down one whack at a time. One whack
it
at a
takes
time.
time.
You may not get it today.
Yep, keep
but
fighting.
Keep fighting. Keep going at it. But he didn't. He literally just disappeared.
Yeah.
And to me, that was very telling. That was very.
It's very telling. Now what? Now
Yes.
you've got, this result. And
Yes.
it reminds me of a good analogy. I was down at a thing for Mike Minogue. And by the way, I'm not endorsing any particular of those guys. They'd make great. All three would make very, very good governors. But I went to his event. I've gone to all three candidates' events. And Jay McMahon, he made this analogy I loved. He said, some of these guys that are fighting hard for you are like the 300,
Yes.
against the Persians. The last people fighting hard till the end. And that's what we have to do.
Yeah.
I want to join that group of small group of people that are fighting hard to the end because they've got people that they love and care that they want to fight for until the death.
It's a genuine fight.
Maybe it's till the political death, but it's
Yeah.
till the death.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's why I'm in it. That's why I'm in it.
And so November comes.
November
right?
comes.
Well, before we get to November,
Yes, sir.
we might be looking at, a primary, right?
Primary.
We're going to have a primary. And
We're gonna have a
I
primary.
was like, where did that come from, right? Like, didn't see it coming. And I'm like, holy mackerel. Like, boom, you just went for mayor, and now this comes up. And I said,
Yes, sir.
So the reason I bring this up is I say to myself, well, obviously you've thought about your campaign, you've planned your campaign. I would imagine this kind of changes things a little bit, right? Like you have to, obviously now you got to work for a primary. When I say to myself, I'm not always a fan of the primary, right? Because you got to beat people up in the primary, and I think, we all need to be united at this point, right? And we need more fighters on our side.
Yes.
So now here we are in this situation. And how do you see yourself adjusting to this?
Haven't had a heavy conversation with my folks yet. Too much. A little bit, but not much, because obviously it was only a few days
Yeah,
ago.
literally just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a brief chat with my campaign manager about it. What's our strategy? We'll probably talk in the next few weeks about things.
Yeah.
Of course, I've never run for office. I've never held office. So I'm not experienced with, okay, let's change strategy to this and that. My initial thinking is the target, politically speaking, is still Michael Rodrigues. I'll keep exposing what he's doing in contrast with what I'm going to do. And everything else, let the chips fall where they may, as far as a primary. And of course, the second goal is to, since, Boomer's an opponent now, in that sense, is to convince as many people as possible that I'm the strongest candidate. Obviously, I don't think I have to change my strategy.
Right.
My strategy to prove people that I'm a strong candidate is the same. I think it's going to stay the same.
Sure.
Because if no one ran against me for the primary, my goal was, again, I'm not just trying to bring in Republicans.
Gotcha.
I want Democrats.
Gotcha.
I care for every single Democrat that's listening to this right now. I want the best for them and their families. I don't care. I don't care to know whether your party is Democrat or whatever.
Sure.
So that will not change much.
Okay.
I want people to know that I care about you. You want to join the team, whatever party you are, because I want the best for the people of Fall River and the 6 towns. So that strategy won't change. There may be some specific things.
Sure.
I'll leave that up to my campaign manager and other people that are more experienced than me.
Yeah. Would you consider debating? Would you consider doing a debate?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
I don't know how that end up, because most likely we're not going to debate too much
I was
on
going to say you're on the
policy.
same, pretty much on the same page. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think so, as much as I
if
know
nothing
about
else,
Boomer.
the opportunity to, hey, look, everybody, I'm Manny. This is who I am, and this is where I stand, right? Because I think those debates are great for maybe sharing.
Yes, sir.
What your campaign is really all about, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So we're certainly a lot closer in terms of much closer than Mr. Rodrigues.
Yeah.
Philosophy.
Sure. Sure.
So I have nothing personal against Boomer. I helped him as much as I could with limited time for his campaign. I was a little disappointed that he didn't win. I felt that he would have been a better mayor.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I really did.
Agreed.
It is what it is. I'm sure it hurts to lose a close race.
Right.
It wasn't that. It wasn't a blowout. For
Right.
Sure.
Right. I think it was a lot closer than anybody expected it to be.
A lot closer.
Yeah.
And my guess is, I don't know, perhaps Mr. Rodrigues is a little concerned about that. Because, again, we had a little change in the district, a little movement.
Yeah.
People recognizing some things, maybe some people waking up.
Well, I think when Fall River they voted Trump,
Yeah,
they voted red.
that was
Like
the
if
icing on
that
the
doesn't
cake.
ring the alarm,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. I'm not giving it I'm not losing sleep on it.
Sure.
Obviously, that puts a little extra complication into it.
Oh yeah, right.
For me,
right.
or Boomer.
Right.
But the last thing I'll do, the only thing I won't do, I refuse to do, is to, make personal insults like some campaigners do. Things like that. Try to bring up things that are irrelevant
Sure.
to the whole situation of running for what we're intending to do. and that is to save the state of Massachusetts from
Absolutely. Can I
total
tell you this?
destruction.
I've spoken to a couple of people. I mentioned that I was doing this interview with you, and everyone said the same thing. Manny's a really good guy. Like every like unsolicited, different people, different places.
Yes, sir.
Manny is a great guy. And I'm like, wow, you know what? I know we met, and I'm like, you know what? That was my impression too when I met him for the first time.
Yeah.
And now I have an opportunity to sit here with you, and I see that. I see that you have a passion for the city. You have a passion for the state, for our citizens. And I think we need more Mannys, right? We need more Gabes. Right, we need more people
think we
like
do.
you fighting for us. You know what? And I know the primary is going to be rough for both of you, but I am grateful that there are both of you. Like that, there are two people that care enough about the state of our situation to want to say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna because this is brutal, Manny. Once you start running campaigns, like I saw it firsthand. Like it was amazing. Like the noise and people want to bring out the worst. And hey, do you know this about him? Do you know this about him? Like. You know what? That really doesn't matter. What his personal life is.
Yes, sir.
If you're divorced, like that's your personal stuff. Like that doesn't mean anything to me in politics. But that's the political game.
That's the game some people like to play.
Right.
I'm trying to stay away from it.
Right.
And I'll make one point. You said I'm a good guy. Of course, the pastor in me comes out and says, Jesus said, "There's no one good but God." So, in a sense, in that sense, in other words, in the human aspect,
absolutely,
in the human aspect, yes, I believe I'm a good guy.
Yes.
But I try to be humble because the guy next to me or the other guy across the street, I'm no better than him. Just because I'm a pastor doesn't mean I'm more superior to you. I'm not. I am exactly on the same level as someone who's never been a pastor or anything else.
Sure.
And that's what I believe, that we're all the same level by the grace of God.
Yep.
And but thank you, I appreciate that. Obviously, I'd rather be called a good guy than a bad guy.
No, of course.
So-
People always have an opinion.
They
I'm
have
a
an opinion.
podcaster, so usually when I ask a question, people usually give me more information than I want. You know what I mean? And like I said, when I mentioned you, like immediately people smile and they're like, "Oh yeah, man, he's just a great, great person." And I think that matters. Who you are when nobody's around, right? Like nobody had.
That's right.
They could have said anything they wanted.
Yeah.
But they chose to say good things about you, and then to me, that speaks to the character. That speaks to the person that you are. And like I said, to me, I met you. I never knew you, and we met that one time there. And like you came over, shook my hand. I'm like, wow, he's a good guy. You get the sense of that. You know what I mean? And being a pastor, I know that you're humbled, and there are certain things that you look at probably differently, right? Than most of us, right? Because you're in touch with that with your faith.
Yeah.
And so with that said, I mean, I appreciate the fact that you would put your hat in the ring, and realizing that there are consequences to this, and none of this is easy, and you're fighting. It's David and Goliath, right? Like
it is.
I went and look. He's got $1 million.
He's got $1 million.
It's 998 9. Like I saw that, and I'm saying to myself, wow, how quick did he do that? You know what I mean? Like where did that come from? You know what I mean? It's like again, if you're in there for 20 years, and again.
That's how you can do those $2,500 lunches for your colleagues. I mean, I've got a list of his expenditures. He takes out his colleagues to talk about the budget, and he pays $2,500 for it. Okay, that's great. That's good for you. Enjoy.
Meanwhile, we can't afford to buy our medications. You know what I mean? Like meanwhile, we have citizens here that are going hungry, and we have children in schools. Personally, between me and you, there should be no school lunch money. Like if you go to school and you need to eat, then get in line and go get some food. If you're still hungry, go get another lunch. I don't understand why we're literally nickel and diming and charging our children for food. A lot of these kids, it's the only meal they get for the day. They go to school early to get some breakfast. They have their lunch. They go home. There's no food for them. Yeah. There's nothing there. No. So now you tell them, oh well, you owe us $20 because you didn't pay. To me, like that's not where we should be. And again, where we should give, we're not. That's right. And where we shouldn't, we are. Yeah. Right. To me, it's insane. It's like the upside down. It really is. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful because I see people like you that are standing up.
I'm hopeful too.
I do.
We can't give up.
So real quick, if people wanted to donate to your campaign, what was the best way they can do that?
My answer is this, and it's a little slightly complicated.
Okay.
I can't walk up to you and ask you for money. Mm-hmm. But I can tell you, go to my website. You'll find out everything you need to know about my campaign there. I'm a public employee.
It's votesilva.org.
Votesilva.org.
Okay.
As a public employee, until I'm retired from that, I cannot put an go
GoFundMe
wherever.
page or
Hey guys,
yeah,
can
kids
you donate to
solicit.
my? I
Yeah,
cannot directly solicit someone.
Yeah, yeah.
But I have others to do that. Of course, my family and all that. That's
Sure.
Not my wife can't even ask for money.
Yeah.
She's a public employee,
Oh,
so she
okay.
can't say, "Can you donate to my husband's campaign?"
Right.
She can't do that. But yeah, whatever you need. If people ask me, because I always the OCPF office, they're awesome people. My representative, Michaela,
Yeah.
if you're listening, probably not. She's given me the best answers whenever I had any doubts about how to do things for a campaign. And to the point where she said, I asked her, can I start asking directly for money as soon as my student graduates and I quit? And the answer was, wait till you get your final paycheck in August.
Oh, wow.
Just to be safe.
Yeah, just
They're very strict. There's those questions that,
Yeah.
I want to get the exact questions answered for
Absolutely.
things that are in the gray area.
Right.
But, and I said, what if someone asked me, how can I donate, like you just did? Just tell them, Manny, go to the website and you'll find out everything you need to know about my campaign.
Perfect.
Whatever you need to do. So,
How about fundraisers? Any fundraisers coming up?
Yes, sir. January 27th, glad you asked, at Brack's restaurant
Taunton.
in Taunton
Okay.
on Bay Street.
Yep.
2097 Bay Street. Brack's on January 27th. That's a Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m.
Okay.
It's going to be a blast. I think I'm going to have a good group of people there,
Yeah.
a good mix of people. Folks listening, come on over there. I'd be glad to shake hands of someone who doesn't want to vote for me. Because if you don't want to vote for me, come over and have some hors d'oeuvres.
Right. Those are the people you want to
They
talk
have
to.
great food too, by
Yeah,
the
they
way.
do.
Brax
Yeah, they
is
do.
awesome.
Yeah, they got great food.
So bring.
It's a cool environment too.
It's
a great environment. Yeah.
Frank Brack is an awesome guy. He's enthusiastic for me, and I appreciate him. And also a big help to me, a big encouragement is Stephen Pina, Brockton City Council. He was elected this year. He met me at Brack's the first time I went to eat there, and we chatted. Stephen Pina's a great guy. Give a thumbs up for him in Brockton. He's going to make big changes in the city council. I'm sorry, the school committee.
School committee.
I think it's the school
I
committee.
do the same thing.
Oh,
Sorry.
dude,
I do.
City council,
I
school
do. I
committee.
do the same thing. I do. Yeah.
So, Brack's January 27th, 6 to 8 p.m. People will have fun. Even if you come and say, I'll never vote for you, Manny, I'll give you a hug and enjoy the hors d'oeuvres. And thanks for coming by anyway. Because maybe one day before the election, they'll change their minds. I don't know. But that doesn't matter. If you're not for me now, you can come if you want to ask questions. You can call me, send me a text, and I'll meet you for coffee and talk to you. I'll talk to anybody.
Real quick, what's changed in your life since you've decided to do this? What's changed in your life? What adjustments have you had to make? Because I only mention this because I say to myself, like, people that want to do this, I always want to give them as much information as possible, right? Because I want more Mannies, right? We want more people to stand up. What has changed in your life?
Well, first of all, a really good friend that I respect a lot, who's in the Republican Party, met with me and my wife, and she had tons of questions. How is this going to affect our family? Is he going to be away from me for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And the answers came back really good for her, that Manny's going to be working, obviously, pretty much full time, but it's not like he's going to work 80 hours a week. He can set his hours in many ways.
You have staff, right? You'll have a staff.
I'll
You
have
have some staff
to help.
Yeah.
And that gave her the okay for me, the final okay. When she was reassured that I'm not going to be away from them 7 days a week, she says, I'm in. What has changed? Making sure we arrange our times and our schedules, the things. Some weeks I go to 3 or 4 functions in a week. Other weeks I go to a function maybe once a week. So there's that.
Sure.
Getting to know people in the party, leaders in the town committees and all that. You spend a lot of time with that.
That's the bang for the buck, right?
That's the bang for the buck.
Yeah.
Getting eventually people who in a few months become part of the volunteer team. Right now there's not much to do as far as that, but in a few months we will. So what has changed, I guess, is mostly making sure we got time for our family. We schedule things around different things. We have to sometimes decide, I'm not going to go to this event much as I'd like to because I got family.
Sure.
I've gone to 3 this week. That's enough.
Yeah. Right.
So we try to manage our time properly. But the other part of the change is a delightfully fun time I have talking to every person I run into. Even a grumpy guy who doesn't like me or whatever.
Right.
I'll try to have a conversation, and if they want to sit, I'll talk. If they don't, fine, go your own way.
Right.
And the only people I won't talk to is the ones that come out and curse and swear at me because you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, that's pointless. That's feelings. People are talking
It's
feelings
yeah.
that you're never gonna get through to them.
But
right?
I've had angry people listen to me for a few minutes and say, "Hey, let's talk," and they'll talk eventually later down the road.
Yeah.
You can calm someone down. I'm not the worst person in the world just because I'm Republican.
Yeah.
There are good Republicans. There are bad Republicans. Guess what? There are bad and good Democrats.
Absolutely.
And that's so. What has changed? There's a lot of perspective in life. Hearing a lot of people's stories, and that makes you cry sometimes or want to cry, but that makes me care more. That makes me more urgent to become the next senator.
That's the motivator, right?
It's
like
a
really
motivator.
seeing the end product. This is how it's affecting people.
I'm telling you, I want to make people's lives or contribute my best to make people's lives in this town.
I believe you. I see it, Manny. I believe you 100%. I'm sitting here with you, and I want people to hear that. I see it, and I believe that your mission is just.
Thank you so
I
much.
believe that. I really do.
Really
I do.
appreciate that.
I do.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you making the time to come in and sitting down and having this conversation with me because, ultimately the goal was I wanted people to know who is Manny, right?
Exactly.
And where do you come from? And what exactly, what are your morals? And why do you want to do this? And I think those are the important questions that people ask. Like, what's this guy's reason for doing this? Why does he want to do this?
Yeah.
And I can clearly see that, this is an opportunity for you to make things better for the people around you. And
Exactly.
and if I had to interpret this conversation today, that's exactly what I would say.
Yes.
And I realize that none of this is easy. And you've got a road and a half ahead of you, sir. You really do. And I realize that there are going to be a lot of people that you come into contact with, and if I can offer you any advice, sir, which I have no right to do, but I will.
Oh, absolutely.
Sir,
I'll take advice anywhere.
If you stay where you're at right now, I think people are going to be receptive to that. I think the loud, the in your face, the matter of fact, that only goes so far.
Right.
I think people want to. I think the most important thing politicians should do, which they don't do, is listen. Politicians talk more than they should than they listen, and I think they need to shift that. And I see with you, sir, you're listening. Like I've had this opportunity to sit here and talk to you, and not once have you interrupted me.
I wanted to hear more about you.
Oh, thank you. We can
I
do this
almost wanted
again.
to be the interviewer. Hey, how was your life? How
Let's
did you
do
grow
this
up?
again. Let's do this again. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You know what? My life, I'm so blessed to be where I am
Amen.
today, and
That's
all of the struggle in my life was worth it, brother, because that's
right.
what drove me to where I'm at. Look, I'm here right now.
Yeah.
Possibly talking to the next state senator of Massachusetts.
Could be.
What an amazing opportunity,
Yeah.
And I just want to thank you and your family for supporting you, and I hope and pray that this works out for you, and that you can make the changes that we desperately need. This state needs the help, and we need people to step up. And I think people are afraid, and I think a lot of people don't have. You know what? Some people make mistakes in their lives.
They do.
But they have to carry that.
I've made those mistakes myself.
And you go into politics, and
sir.
now people are like, hey, back in 1972, you know what I mean? But nobody cares it was back in 1972.
Nobody cares.
Right. And so it's so hard to get into this realm. And I think the design is such that to keep good people out. Because I think the strongest people, Manny, are the ones that have struggled in their lives.
Yes.
Right? Because they know.
They know. They learned from their mistakes. They learned from their struggles, whether it was their fault or not, and they got themselves up and kept moving on.
Yeah. Do you have a website? You have the org.org, but do you have like a website?
I have votesilva.org, but we couldn't get the .com, so that's basically .org.
Yeah.
And then
Which I think is
obviously we're
great.
on Facebook.
Okay.
Manny.
All right. So on Facebook, is it just Manny Silva on Facebook?
I have my Manny Silva where I post a lot of my stuff anyway.
Okay.
But then there's, I think it's Silva for Senator.
Okay.
On Facebook.
I'll
But
share
if you look
that.
up Manny,
And I'll
that'd
share
be
it.
great.
So if people really want to find you, I'll share it on my Facebook so they can have a link to. And of course, whatever you got, share it my way, and
Absolutely.
I would be more than happy to share it with the audience. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a way to wrap this up. I was thinking of something, and then I lost my train of thought.
My fault. Because I go all over the place.
No, that's great. No, I would have to say to tell everyone that it has been my faith that grounded me. That has been my foundation. And I know a lot of politicians, they're a little shy about talking about their Christian faith or whatever. But there's nothing wrong with that. And a lot of people are recognizing that now. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be going up to the Senate and preaching a sermon. No. But my foundation is the moral ethical standards set by Jesus Christ.
God is watching,
in
sir.
the Bible. God is watching, and whatever I do as a senator or as a campaigner right now for the Senate, he's watching, like you just said, and I'm responsible to him. I'm responsible to our Creator.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, I would feel totally guilty if I did something unethical.
Sure.
So, again, going back to my parents and how they raised us was a great, great thing. And that's what's going to drive me. Try to live a good moral life the best you can, even though no one's perfect but God. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect.
Of course.
I've made mistakes. I may make some mistakes in the future, and I sure will.
And those mistakes are important. That's where we learn.
We learn
That's
from
where
them.
That's where the magic comes
Just
from.
don't keep repeating them over and over again.
Yeah, right.
But I appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, absolutely.
As I get to know more people, I hope they at least listen to me, as you said. And then if you don't want my message, that's great. That's your choice.
Sure.
But I'm here for the people. Whether you like the way I want to do it or not, I'm here for the people because I care about them. And that's my message to everyone listening to your podcast, which I love. I've seen some of your episodes.
Thank you.
You're a great interviewer.
Thank you, sir.
And if we have another one again, that'd be great.
Yes. Definitely.
And then I'll throw up interview questions to you, too.
Sure, I'll take it.
I'm always interested in, hey, you ask me a lot of questions about my life.
Yeah.
I'm interested in you and knowing, hey, how did you get to this point in life?
Yeah.
Your family life and all that, because that's all very important to where we're at now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Appreciate
Jody,
it.
any questions?
Any questions?
I don't think I really have a question right now
Yeah.
at this specific moment.
Well, I don't want to put you on the spot, but the reason I go to you, Jody, is because Jody's age,
Yes,
right?
sir.
I love having Jody around.
Yeah.
I'm 50, right? So I'm in a different generation. Jody is much younger. Jody's in his
26.
20s. So to me, he's got a different mindset,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And he's got a different group of people around him. So I
Yeah.
always like to get his input because
Yeah.
he has a different frame of mind than I do. You know what I mean? And what the struggles are for him and his success, you know?
That's right.
So I kind of agree with what he's been going with, and I look forward to seeing you in this election and
sir.
whatnot, because I pay attention to that stuff.
Good,
I don't really like base it around my life, but I do pay attention to it, and I just let me know what I'm talking about. I agree with what you're saying with how you want to not raise taxes and make this state more livable for the
Right.
citizens.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to Taxachusetts, that's what we call this place now. It's
Taxachusetts.
Taxachusetts, it's just it's very hard for someone like me who owns their own business and try to still make a life for not just myself but my family as well.
Yes.
And it's just. I should be able to be owning my own house, not living with my father. You feel me?
Right.
At this age right now, with what I be doing with all my camera stuff, filming, all that stuff, I should not be living in my father's house right now still.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it just all comes down to this economy about how everything's just it's just inflating so freaking much. It's so bad that like not even minimum wage can keep up with it without you living with other people.
Sure.
So and I genuinely
points.
appreciate that.
Great points. I mean, my 23-year-old, he still lives with us. The reality struck him a couple of years ago. I said, Tiago, if you go out and live on your own right now, you won't make it.
Right.
What you make every month will barely pay the rent. Okay, now where you're going to get your food, pay for your car insurance, everything.
Then you hit a pothole.
Hit a pothole,
Right.
you're done.
Done.
And I don't want to see young people like my son or you deciding, hey, I'm going to go to North Carolina where they have jobs, or Florida, or whatever.
Florida. You could buy a 3-bedroom house in
yes.
Florida for $300,000.
Yes, sir. And even if you want a small one, $100,000 will give you a decent little place to live.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can get a nice little 2-bedroom,
Whereas
1-bedroom. Yeah.
here you're paying a mortgage amount for rent. And that's definitely, I think I might have mentioned that in one of my speeches. My kickoff speech, I think, mentioned that. I said something about, we don't want to keep losing young people because they can't afford to live here anymore.
Right.
It's outrageous.
Right.
And again, it hurts to talk about that, but that's the that's
And
the
I've
fact.
already paid rent before. I've lived on my own, and it's just not worth it
Right.
at the end of the day. You know, I'm trying to take advantage of this and try to get as much as I can.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's sad to say.
That's the
That's
reality, though, yeah.
really sad to say. Taking advantage of living in your father's house. That's crazy
Right.
to even think about.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you know, it's just the human. It's just the human nature of us. You know, you got to
help each
survive.
other.
You got to
We
learn
gotta
how to
survive.
survive. You know.
Sure.
So
I want to make it so that someday when you're a father with a teenager, you won't have to keep him in your house. If
Right.
he wants to, fine.
Right.
If you want, then fine. But you won't have to.
Right.
They can go and buy their own house at a less than outrageous price. So,
Right.
There's a long list of problems, and that's what I mentioned at that speech. One thing, kids leaving, young people leaving Massachusetts in droves,
Yes.
and other people.
Yes.
So.
Even going to New Hampshire, like moving to the state of New Hampshire.
Hampshire.
Right, the southern border.
Yes,
You know what
sir.
I mean?
Yeah.
I hear Mike likes New Hampshire. I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes to buy. He likes to buy alcohol.
He likes
and
New
the-
Hampshire.
Yeah. So we tax everything here, and then he drives.
Let's get that tax.
He drives to
and
New Hampshire to go buy alcohol, right? And then when somebody asks him about it, he's like, "Mind your business." Really?
then mind your business, pal.
Really? Like, you know what? To me,
That's so funny.
when I read that, like it just, I'm like, this is who he is. This so numb to the pain that you're causing to your constituents.
Yes, sir. Opportunist.
Right?
He's an opportunist as far as I'm concerned, and God bless him. I know he has grandchildren.
Yep.
He has a family. I'm assuming he's a nice family man, but he hasn't done the job for the people.
Agreed.
And that's why I'm running, not
Right.
because he's an evil man or anything. He just hasn't done a job. He needs to be fired. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And he's not going to hurt. He's going to have a pretty nice pension.
Yeah, it seems like it. Seems like he set himself up pretty good.
I think the percentages they give is like your last 3 years,
Yeah.
a certain percentage, and that's going to be outrageous because I think he makes something like $225 a year as the Ways and Means guy. He doesn't make just the base salary. He's well.
That's
over
right, because he's got the
yes,
that
he's got the
chair.
committee chair. He's got yeah.
Yeah. No.
He won't be hurting,
No.
but no, it's irresponsible to cut from 5 to 4% on.
Sure.
That I'm sure everyone will agree on that.
Right.
He's giving. Frankly, he's giving me, and obviously Boomer too will mention that. He's giving all these things on a silver platter to us. And I don't know why. Why? Because he probably figures he's got nothing to lose. He may figure he's going to ride right into the sunset and win again.
Mm-hmm.
And he's probably not going to do much and say, these guys aren't going to beat me.
Right.
I've got the people in my pockets. The people are going to wake up. I believe they're going to wake up. Like you said, they have to wake up.
They have to.
Otherwise, you
Because
won't
it's
make
bad
change.
enough.
Yeah.
It is bad enough.
Yeah, the people have to wake up, and I think they are. And I don't think they're going to stand for another 2 years of what he's done or not done.
Yeah.
Those are both important things.
Sure,
He's
sure.
often not done many things. You never hear him speak out against tax increases
Of course not.
or any of that stuff.
Right. He's not going to call himself out.
So good points there, and it's a tough all around for everybody.
Sure. Manny, you're a gentleman. You're a class act. And it's a pleasure. And I hope I can call you friend, sir.
Absolutely, Bobby.
And I appreciate you coming on the show. And again, you are a friend of the show. If you want to come back, when you want to come back, if you have some things you want to discuss, the door is always open for me. Just shoot me a message and we'll get right back in here and we'll discuss it. So my
so
platform is your platform, sir. In any way that I can help, I will do that. You know, I know Gabe, and I'll probably be doing an interview with him as well.
sir.
And I'll offer the same to him because honestly, at the end of the day, and I hope you don't mind, but the truth is, I think you are both great people. And the fact that you are both in the ring for us, you guys are fighting for us, is very important to me. And I want to support the vote. Like it's always my
That's your
push.
job, yeah.
I want to support the vote. But I would
gotta
tell
get
you,
the
man,
people out there, yeah,
absolutely.
And I like Boomer. I still like him, even
Sure.
though he jumped into the race, and I have no ill will.
I didn't see it
towards
coming.
him.
I didn't see it coming.
It was like
what? What are we talking about? Somebody actually called me to tell me. And I'm like, no way. And I'm like, I'm like, it's actually happening.
yeah. So it's
Hey,
all good. It's all good.
It'll be interesting if nothing else.
It'll be
Right?
interesting,
Right? Manny, absolute
Thank
pleasure
you
to
so
have
much,
you, sir. I
Bobby.
appreciate you, man.
Great
Thank you
interview.
so much.
Appreciate it.
Jody, thank you so much for being here, bro. I really appreciate it. Audience, thank you so much for being here today. Really appreciate it. It's been an absolute pleasure to sit down and talk to Manny and really figure out what is going on, who Manny is, and where we're going. You know what I mean? I think this is, I think a lot of people, this is a little different because I don't think a lot of people know. Like what does the Senate do? Like I don't think a lot of people realize how important that role is and how many things you guys actually touch. That's right. Because it's the state. You know what I mean? It's next level. And so I'm hoping that the audience will become more receptive. Like I actually brought up some points today just to really just get people get their feet wet of realizing, look, it's not just your local government. You know what I mean? Like
what a senator does influences the whole state.
The whole
That's a
state.
big responsibility.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? And having talking to you and like realizing like the towns like Freetown and Westport and Lakeville, they need this.
They need it.
They need more. You know what I mean? It's a great place. They got great properties there. If you want to go live in the woods, that's where you go. But there needs to be more. Like we need to stimulate some economy there.
That's
you know what I mean?
We do.
And so I'm hopeful for that. But I appreciate you, man. I appreciate the audience. Thank you so much for being here today. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe to the show. And always remember that all roads lead here.